Good evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. Guys, it's Gregory Puff here, and we are on Speed Gaming 6 doing our very last match today, 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time between Rojo and Jaylow7. I am joined here by Ilmar's Ubermuller. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic, Greg. This is another big match that we've got two guys who are 1-1. As you know, 3-3 gets you in that last chance play-in race. No one wants to get there. 4-2 at least gets you the opportunity to get straight into the brackets. This is a big one. They can't afford to be dropping down to 2.
No, absolutely not. You definitely don't want to be 1 and 2 coming out of this, because then you basically have to win your next 3 games in order to secure your spot into the play-in race.
That's right, and that last chance qualifier, one person's gonna win out of God knows how many that are gonna be in it, so that is not one you want to be banking on.
Yeah, the math says it's going to be about 18 to 19 people in that last chance qualifier. So, yeah, I mean, you don't want to have to be vying for one spot just to go into the play-in race. So, definitely 3-3 is not where these guys want to be. No one wants to lose this, but unfortunately, we will have a loser. Somebody will go on to 2-1, and the other will go on to 1-2. We do have a draft I'd like to talk about real quick. Rojo picked White Mage. Jaylow picked White Mage. Rojo went double fighter on him, and then Jaylow basically felt like he had no choice and went with a Black Mage. I went on ahead and let these racers go, and they should be going off here in just a second, and we'll check out what Canaria has for us.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be getting going here any second. Pretty standard comp, though. I mean, most people will run Fighter Thief or Fighter Black Belt, which we all know is the correct answer. You know, a couple of mages on. Red mages seem to be pretty popular, and we're off.
Yeah, I like what happened. First off, Rojo made sure his face was nice and clean before he did anything else. Looks like we got a Harm 2, the only sweeper spell I see. Fast and Brack. Brack, a great spell to see. Fast, of course, is going to be great against bosses, but not so great currently. Check the weapon shop. Nothing that they could quite equip. And Jaylow going straight to the end. Maybe? Gonna equip the Scimitar first.
That's something for at least one of the fighters to
save?
Yeah, Jaylow went to the inn. He just didn't exit out right away. That's all.
That's what's happening here. Gonna take an imp battle. Imps luckily seem to be safe right now, so that's always a pleasure. You hate to see nuke imps, but at least you know nuke is only on the imps, right?
At least they only show up in the first early part of the game. It's not something like, lobsters with nuke, airs with nuke, things that populate Topher and the later dungeons to just absolutely wreck your run.
Yeah, Rojo doing something very interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about, but he is not going to take Brack himself a Garland. He's going to head to Provoca and check. I'm assuming level 2 magic after getting that second level and no. What's he?
He's got to be looking for a sweeper spell. It's the only reason he's beelining.
Yeah,
Is he gonna punch some pirates? Okay, no, skipping that. He's checking armor. I guess he wants to. Well, chain armor is decent, but I don't know if it's worth the trip.
Yeah. And it looks like he's going to punch some pirates down. He didn't. No, he's still level 1. I guess Jaylow is the only person that actually got a level from killing the imps.
He didn't take any.
That is an interesting move, considering, like you said, he doesn't have a sweeper, so this is going to take at least 4 rounds of combat, where Jaylow is going to make it to Topher. Gonna get the bone treatment, gonna get boned here. You hate to see that. Fire coming out again, killing Jay. Poor Jay. Obviously didn't grab Harm 2, so he can't deal with these zombies. Try to get out of here. And he just... All right, so Rojo did kill himself some pirates. Completely missed with what Bicky had. All right. Well, I'm going to go on ahead and just call the action right now. If anybody wants to tell me what Bicky had and they caught it, that'd be awesome. I was too busy figuring out what's going on Jaylow's screen. Running into those zombies again. Gonna go on ahead and hopefully be able to get out of this battle. Harm 2 would have been nice. It was level 1 for that white mage. Would have been able to clear out those zombies, get a couple extra levels. Both these runners got to be feeling the pressure, though, because unfortunately we're already 4 minutes in and neither of them have killed Garland. I know Rojo was able to kill the pirates, or at least it looked like he was doing pretty good against the pirates. Chat helping me out here. It was, in fact, the bottle that we got. So we got the bottle from Bicky. Bottle completely useless right now, but it does give you the extra 5% experience. And Rojo Jaylow having to reset out of that again. Luckily, there was nothing really happening in Toph right now.
Looks like he's making his way back up, dealing with some more imps, while Rojo's dealing with the fire bones.
Mm-hmm. Getting boned.
Jaylow's going straight to Garland this time. I think he's going to try to brack him in the face.
Yep. Rojo did pick up Harm 2, so he's going to be able to mow down those zombies, as Jaylow does give Garland the business with that brack spell, turns him into a statue, knocks him over, he breaks into pieces, and we pick up the adamantium and a little cube.
Adamant at least useful at this point. Make our way over to dwarves soon, see if we can get something good out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, not too shabby. Happy to see Hangry Canuck here in chat. Finn Dog JZ also here. Polar 324. We got a lot of people hanging out here in chat. Burt Reynolds, our resident tracker today, going to be telling us where everything is. And of course, my comms partner is Ilmar's Ubermuller. And Rojo taking down Garland, going to give us some poison sound effects, I think. And he picks up his adamant and cube.
Jaylow making his way over here to the dwarves. Going to turn in that adamant, see what we get for it. Oh, no, going to get ogred first.
Oh, we get the hooray dwarf. That's always nice to see. Silver armor, big money out of that chest. He's going to turn in his adamant and see what that turns into. And it's a tail, so we got a stinky tail out of an adamantium turn in. What do you think about that? Like, what? So did they take the piece of metal and forge it into a tail?
I guess, or else, the dwarf managed to kill one rat and figured, I'll keep this.
Yeah, so Jay, because he checked dwarves now, he's going to have the money to pick up whatever he needs while he's in Provoca. And Rojo did not check level 2 magic last time. Oh my gosh, Sahags with Thunder? That is unacceptable behavior out of them.
No, that's going to make the season, this early part, very, very annoying.
Yeah, you're going to definitely have to take all that money that Jaylow got out of this chest here. Roger's still giving us some of that sweet poison sound effects, but you're going to have to take all that money and buy like a million tints and then save scum all over the water.
At this point, that's probably your best option here. Dealing with Sahags with Thunder is just going to cause way too many wipes at this point in the match.
Yeah, Jaylow unfortunately took that wipe and didn't have any save gear, so he has to walk all the way back to Dwarf Cave and get his tail and money again. But he did take the smart route, knowing that the Sahags are on the sea. He's going to walk around instead of shipping over.
Yeah, it makes by far the most sense. We haven't seen anything horrific on land yet, so take the path of least resistance at this point. And
as you say that, Ogres and Grogers take down Jaylow. He's going to have to walk himself over there. We know with these... Oh, he gets away, though. Oh, we got sea pirates. It's fine. It's fine, right? No, stone touch? That's unfortunate. At least he has a soft.
Well, of course.
Yeah, that's rough. And he's got all that money now, about 15K is what it looks like. He's going to pick up a ton of heals. Unfortunately, Canaria only has houses for sale, and they're like 2,200. That's a lot of money. So Jaylow getting his tail again, getting his money again. Rojo's going to get back on the seas.
Well, he's going to keep talking to that hooray dwarf too, so that's always pleasant.
Yeah, unrunnable sea battle here. Brack comes out, turns Shark into stone. So both of these runners are doing kind of what I assumed would happen with double fighter party comp, is that one of their fighters is going to take kind of a dirt nap for probably a majority of the seed, if not the entire seed. And they're gonna run 3-man. That's what I would assume they would do. That's probably what I would have done if I was in the situation. And there's our canal.
That makes getting around a lot easier.
Yes, it does. So in this particular flag set, do you want to go over the flag set, or would you like me to do it? It's up to you.
Yeah, so we're running, this week is the Fire Week, which means that one of our main incentivized chests that's getting moved around every week by week is to a different Fiend dungeon. So this week being Fire Week means that in the Gurgu Volcano, in that chest that's typically guarded by the Red Dragon, is going to be one of the incentives. On top of that, we have Waterfall that's incentivized, Ice Cave that's incentivized. We have 2.5 loose, I guess is a good way to put it. You're always going to have a loose canal somewhere within the inner sea that allows you to break out, and then you're going to have 2 loose anywhere. We're outside of the typical key items that we got. We've also got 3 other items in the pool, those being the Thor Hammer, the Power Glove, and the Opal Bracelet. So at this point in time, it's not 100% sure if those loose are going to be completely needed or not, because they could end up being some of those quote-unquote dud items.
Yeah, and the dud items we like to mention, party, and you have a black belt, you don't really need the tail, and then of course you've got your power bonk, your Opal Bracelet, and the Thor's Hammer. Thor's Hammer would actually be a nice sight right now, considering that Lightning 2 is the only sweeper spell we have, and it's level 2, but White Magic looked really good with a Cure 4 and a Heal 3. So it sucks to see those 2 great spells on the same slot, but they have their purposes in different ways. So at least White Magic is going to work out for that White Mage there. Rojo getting out of town, getting everything he needs, and he's going to head towards Elflin. He's got his canal, which means probably Marsh Cave is off the table for both of these runners. What do you think?
Yeah, at this point in time, there's no reason to be diving straight into there yet. You still have the check over... you still got that check over in Crescent Lake. I mean, if you really want to get spicy, you can go and look to see if there is a vendor item, which we have not seen over in On-Rack as well, since due to the open progression, we have that dock sitting over there.
Yeah. Jaylow, going into the armor shop here in Provoca, I noticed the chain armor earlier that was kind of on the expensive side, but the the silver bracelets are relatively inexpensive at only 1,000 gold here. Looks like Jaylow's going to pull up his pirates. Still doesn't look like he should have that lightning too, so this should go much quicker than Rojo's battle against the pirates. And sure enough, there we go, lightning coming out, and that should do the business against those pirates. He'll get his bottle of disappointment and then get out of there.
Yeah, that right now is just that's something that we'll have to wait till later, till at least we got that floater to be able to turn in at Gaia.
Yeah, we got some pretty decent magic spells over here. We got Warp. Warp is huge. Temper's also huge, especially with a low-level fast, low-level Temper. That feels pretty good. And White Magic, we got Exit, so that's another huge spell. Not going to do much in the way of damage, but it's going to make diving dungeons a lot easier.
It's also convenient that it's in what will later be a night learnable spot, already having the tail as well, because if anyone looks to do a solo grind, then they can just instantly, on one of the various shuffled trap tiles, having that knight having exit means they can just bail out, no worry about having to fight their way out of it.
Wow, this magic though. Like, okay, so we talk about the utility spells that are really good. We got the exit, the temper, the warp, the fast. But
fast,
then,
heal 3, cure 4, but we're still missing
we've got
big.
we've got Lit 2 as our only sweeper spell currently that will actually do damage. Granted, we do have Quake at level 3. We also have Zap at level 4, but those aren't reliable sweeper spells. I want damage dealing sweeper spells, darn it. And Rojo does find the news. We've got a crystal. Looks like it's about 12k, and he's got to find money to get that crystal.
Yeah, so looks like he's going to be making his way over to Crescent. Going to check out to see.
I'm trying to think if he got anything that he can sell.
Yeah.
Because
the only thing I think he's picked up is silver armor, which I would assume he's rocking at this time.
Yeah, I would definitely hold on to it. He just had to double check and make sure exactly how much it was. He needs 10k in order to make that happen. Now, usually if you have the canoe, you can go Volcano Armory and be able to raise that money pretty quickly. Unfortunately, we don't have the canoe right now, so it looks like he'll probably maybe go to Earth Caves, check a grind, maybe be able to
check the spike tiles in the Hall of Giants, see what's there, maybe check. I haven't really seen any massive runs yet on any of the encounter tables. Life at level 5, which will be, at least we know our white mages will be able to have some casts of that, but I haven't seen any huge runs that they'll be able to be getting in and out of Earth fairly easily, but with access to warp and exit coming up here in a couple of levels, that shouldn't be a big deal to look at the first floor chests on Earth either.
Yeah. And that Quadex at level 5 was the warp slot, which means it's unlearnable until we can get into the air and turn that tail in. So that's even more of a womp womp. And I didn't see any other sweepers in that particular spell slot.
Every one of the level 3 elements is 6 and above, which is not a great feeling.
No, that's terrible magic. I mean, I would almost be tempted to bring my other fighter back to life. And
Dan, that black, you run a more melee-centric look at this, possibly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because at this point, you're going to need whatever melee you can get. And I bet these runners are hoping and praying for a Thor's Hammer. But Rojo is not going to go to Hall of Giants. He's not going to deal with any of this spike tile, whatever. He knows that more than he's going to get some sort of progression out of Crescent.
Making his way there, just picking up some fights along the way. Hopefully be able to get some experience from this as well.
No, unfortunately, he gets the Lit 2 to go off and then, of course, doesn't kill anything and then runs away. Jaylow
the randomizer special.
Yeah, exactly.
At least it's not as bad as when you leave one alive.
That is true. Oh, we got super cheap tents here. Finally, some camping gear these guys can actually... Then, as you can see, like I said, he's going to buy like 1 million of them and then safes come his way across the oceans.
The less you have to deal with Sahags right now, the better it is.
All right, we still have no white sweepers. Let's see if we got anything here. Lit 3, Ice 3. Oh my gosh, everything just rolled right there. Still haven't seen a nuclear fade, so exciting times.
Yeah, good luck to having the big boys, but at least even then, Ice 3 at level 6, you're getting what? 4 charges at endgame?
Yeah, it's not much. It's at that point you're just like, at least they have fast and temper for the end game, right? But the old men in the circle, the 12 sages, gave the rod. That is a required end game item. Bull's coming out staring. They need to calm that down. Quake coming out doing dang stuff. Trolls. Can the brack it down? It cannot. The trolls coming back out swinging. Luckily, the trolls aren't hitting too hard and broken into pieces. That's some pretty good levels he's going to pick up on his fighter and Black Mage.
I think he'd probably, if he had a choice, would like that to go to that white mage. But, the fighter getting it is definitely top priority at this point.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised by what's happening here. It looks like we're going to do a crescent grind to try to get that 10K, which is, again, not a horrible plan. As a guy that likes to play black belts, I like to make my grinds for levels, not so much for money. I'd prefer to find money in chests. So, I mean, there are 2 dungeons that are available to get money, Earth and Marsh. They could have dove either of those to try to get that 10K, but looks like we're going to get the overworld grind. Trolls at least have decent money, so this shouldn't take too terribly long. Maybe 3 or 4 more battles to get to the...
Just even at one fight, you're getting almost a K a piece just from a single troll. So any multi, although he keeps pulling the singles, but any multi battles should get him there quick.
Yeah, and again, not something I would personally do, but I like to play anyway, just because it is getting him money. It's getting him where he needs to be, and he's gonna commit to the 2-man for the time being. I don't know, with the exit, the cure 4 and the heal 3. I'm not sure I would let that white mage lay down quite, especially since black magic is fantastic.
I guess his thought process is maybe the best way to be able to gain access to that is, the more levels I can get, the quicker on that black mage. Maybe I can actually get some useful charges of that to be able to use it. Or at this point, even getting 1 charge of a decent sweeper would be big.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct there. Man, Jaylow has no money. He's in Crescent. He's going to get his rod, but I don't even know if he has enough money to save in the inn. And
he doesn't have enough money to pull anybody up, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Rojo, I don't know if he saved recently, but he is getting the business from these scorpions and bulls. He needs to get out of this battle right now. His fighter's down. Scorpion going to town on black. He takes a wipe. I need to see what his levels look like. I don't remember if he saved between those last 3 or 4 encounters.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to see what the money count is and the level count is.
Yeah, I think he must have saved at some point, because his levels appear to be pretty high. Yeah, he's back to level 10, so it's not that bad to take.
Jaylow sold his only armor of silver to be able to bring back his other fighter and have a little cash to save.
That feels really bad. You hate to see that. I mean, the silver armor isn't fantastic, but if it's the only armor you have, well, it's as good as it's going to be.
Exactly. Any absorb at this point, particularly for the early game, is better than 0 absorb.
Yeah, and Jaylow is not going to bother doing any sort of crescent grind at all. He is going to more than likely take his rod and maybe check out what's happening in Earth, or he's going to check out what's happening in Marsh Cave to try to get that money to get that crystal. Because right now, at this point, the crystal is more than likely leading to... I mean, I can't imagine what else it could lead to at this point. Because
Ruby, potentially.
Ruby, yeah, you're right. You're right. The Ruby is out there. That would lead to progression of some kind. If the game decided to be super cheeky, it could lead to something like the Oxyel or the Chime, and that way you're going to have to look for your loose canoe in one of those places.
And then also having the rod makes you think, oh boy, if it isn't straight progression like the canoe, you're going, I might have a few options that I have to pick between.
Yeah, and to be perfectly honest with this black magic layout, you've got Lit 2 as your only real damage dealing spell. It's going to make Earth Cave feel really, really bad.
But it would feel a heck of a lot better than trying, say, if you got an Oxyale or Chime and having to try and fight through sea. Or especially Sky.
Well, at least
Mirage, pardon me.
I was going to say, at least at least C doesn't have regular sag, and it's just the R sags. So,
oh, watch, they'll come out with something.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Let's go on ahead and yeah, I mean, wow, Jaylow is going to go on ahead and do the Earth Cave dive. Big fan of it. I like it. I like this dive better than Marsh Cave.
You've got the rod, you've got some options, I doubt you're playing all the way down to Lich at this point unless you get something really cool out of here, but even then, you probably, I'd also be checking those spike tiles, seeing if there's a potential grind. Maybe not for now, but at least to keep in the memory bank.
Yeah, I mean, even something like if Perilous were down here, like big groups of Perilous, they give decent money and they don't have much in the HP department. You'd be able to take them down with one charge of Lit 2, take like maybe 3 of them, and you'd have plenty of money to pick up that crystal and levels to boot. So looks like he was able to. Did he have the money to pick up the crystal? He kind of did that so quickly, I missed everything. Obviously, he has no money, so he clearly got the crystal.
Yeah, Rojo purchased crystal.
All right, so Rojo is going to buy his $15,000 glass ball. He's going to change his respawn rate to 1. Going to change it back to 8. Good. Got a rune sword. That's some weapon. Better than the scimitar. Oof, Ochos and Karibs. Get out of there. Like... All right, Lit 2 coming out. Not really doing anything to that Ocho. He's trying to get through this battle. It's at least something if he can get out of this. But man, Ocho, 3 hits, 104, taking down Sam. Crystal turns into the canoe just as I expected. And after all that, Jaylow resets out of that battle.
Just nothing going for him, unfortunately. Those Ochos seem to be pretty beefy.
Yeah, so Rojo getting his canoe from the crystal turn in. Where do you go from here? You have quite a few selections. We do have Volcano that's incentivized. You've got Ice Cave, you got Warp, you got Exit. You're getting out of those places pretty quickly. You also have Ordeals and you have Waterfall. So what are you thinking? Where do you think we go from here?
I gotta be thinking with Warp or Exit, as crazy as it is to say. I'm thinking maybe Ice Cave. I mean, maybe check Armory floor of Volcano, see if you can get something, get something, but going all the way down in Volcano at this point, level 11, possible if you get something decent out of there, but I'd be sticking on this side for now, keeping my proximity close, looking at a Volcano or Ice Cave.
Yeah, my only thing is this black magic layout is just not good. If Rojo, I think, picked up Harm too, so at least he can deal with undead. With Warp and Exit, man, I might go to Ice Cave. I know that sounds like I'm an insane person, but with Lit 2 and Harm 2, you could at least like make a run at Ice Cave and be able to like kill things.
And even if it was just to check the incentive chest and then bail and potentially come back, it looks like we're going to be doing a second floor check of all the chests here in Volcano.
Yeah, without Ice 3, this is going to get kind of rough pretty quickly. The Lit 2 may be fine. We're going to get a spike tile check here, I'm sure. No, we're not. And Jaylow finding a loose ruby in Earth Cave. Big find. That's huge. That's progression items right now since we don't have the...
Yeah, 2 things that may very well be very, very needed. I mean, statistically, one of them's got to be something.
Now, I will say I'm a big fan of the cheeky Earth 1 dive, so I'm really happy this happened. Unfortunately, he is getting a bunch of bull going on here. Bulls are giving him the business. Will not let him go. His white mage finally getting away. Mary getting out of there. Use your exit spell and get out of this place. You do not need to be here any longer. You don't have any saving items.
No, you've got to bail at this point. It's not worth checking.
Dragon armor, another huge find. Not good right now, but still, like, big find.
Yeah, and as I say, it's not worth it. Of course, he pulls something like dragon armor.
Yeah, but he still needs to be using exit. He has exit and warp. He needs to get out of here. Harry and Jay are not going to be able to run from things, especially as statues. And Jaylow taking another wipe, but at least he has the knowledge. He has the knowledge that we have a loose ruby down there.
Yeah, at this point, you know what? Keep the thought of the dragon armor there in the back of your head. Come back for it later when you're actually able to grab it. Go in, X-Cal on Rojo's side in the armory, but go in, get that ruby, get out, and then you can always grab that dragon armor later.
All right, Rojo getting good turn order, but the harms are doing absolutely nothing against these ghosts. That's unacceptable behavior by those harm charges. Hopefully he gets good turn order and can take these ghosts down before they start wailing on his party. Looks like he will be able to get through this battle. So that's going to be huge experience. Now, ghosts, typically people do not want to fight them, but they are at least worth something.
They didn't seem to hit high on their attack accuracy, though. There were a lot of misses on guys not having a lot of armor or evade at this point.
Yeah, and Jaylow getting ambushed by these glancing Grogers. Get out of there. Did he not pick up exit? Am I losing my mind here?
At level 5, do you have a level 3 charge yet?
You should have at least one. For the white mage, you should have one.
Yeah, so he should have, unless he didn't pick it up, because he's been pretty poor and dealing with some financial issues this whole seed so far.
Yeah, and the thing that's really killing me is the lack of camping gear. Like this area is entirely too dangerous not to have camping gear. We got fires coming out of these shadows. We got perilous, on Rojo's screen.
Unrunnable, which not horrible though, because you can get some decent, as we said earlier, decent experience out of these things.
Yeah, and they usually roll pretty low. I'm surprised that one bird actually survived that lit too. But Jaylow lucking out, getting out with his ruby, and is going to be able to. But I mean, God, he's got to make it through Titans. Okay, no, he's going to get some camping gear. He knows he can't get through Titans to Sarda and check all those chests to make it back with a tent or a cabin or something.
He should head south to Elfland.
Yeah.
That's where the cheap tents were at. And the Corneria's, his cabins. Elfland is where those cheap tents were at.
Yeah, but Rojo is making short work of this dungeon that he's currently in. I mean, he has already checked the armory area. I didn't see if he had checked everything outside of the armory room itself. But he's heading south. He's getting lower and lower into this volcano. Now, unfortunately, we know he's in the wrong place. He needs to be in Earth Cave getting that ruby, because ruby, like I said earlier, gives you those two incentive items: the one that's in Titan's Trove and the one from Sarda.
So far, nothing big outside of getting smacked around by some ghosts a bit.
Yeah, and we already know that bulls have a bunch of bull, but luckily he was able to get away from that battle. And still clearing all the way down, getting tons of money. Already well past he could pick up about 7 crystals with the amount of money he currently has.
Yeah, that was also the advantage of him doing that little bit of grind outside of Crescent, was being able to get some finances, which, as we said, Jaylow's been having a little bit of financial issues so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like Jaylow is going to make a play for Titans. Yeah, he has been struggling money-wise. And not having camping gear and being able to really take battles, getting ambushed by Grolves is not helping his case at all. But luckily, it looks like the Gerwolves don't really have anything going on, so he should be able to get out of this pretty easily. But back to Grogers. We know Grogers have glance.
Ugh, poor guy just can't catch a break right now.
Yeah, I feel horrible, but it looks like we got a slab totally useless right now.
More things we have to wait for that floater. Gotta hope Sarda's got it.
Yeah, I mean, we just don't know what's going to happen here because there's so many incentive locations you can get to right now. Finding that loose ruby doesn't guarantee we're going to find the floater. The floater could be here. The floater could be an ice cave for all we know. The floater could be in Ordeals.
Waterfall. We've got a few options at this point.
Yeah, so we're going to hope that loose ruby really pans out for him and opens up the world by having the floater here. I hate to see this. Sorry.
I was going to say, we got a Bane Sword pickup on Rojo's side, something that might be able to help his White Mage do something here.
Yeah. Yeah, if his White Mage isn't too busy trying to mow down undead packs. Oof, God. Hydras, I hate them. And we got to loot. So Ruby Not necessarily required at this point that we know of, because you could still get the floater and talk to Sarda, and we don't know what the slab turns into. So doesn't really help Jaylow out all too much.
No, he's looking for mobility at this point for sure. That's the one thing that would help. That would help him catch up a little bit on his little bit of level lack and such at this point.
Oh, speaking of floaters, there we go. We got the floater here. Big time find on Rojo's side. He is gonna, yeah, that's exactly what I would have done.
Later.
Oh my gosh, Speed Gaming 4 hitting us up with the raid, raiding us with what appears to be some people. 171, my lord. Well, good to have you here, Carito. Thanks for all of that. And I just want to welcome you guys into a little bit of Final Fantasy Randomizer. We are in week 3 of our spring tournament 2020 Swiss rounds, and we've got a couple of 1-on-1s facing off against each other. Rojo here on the left, Jaylow7 here on the right. My name is Gregory Puff, doing commentary with Il Mars Ubermuller hanging out with me.
That's me.
Something tells me, based on your accent, you're not German.
No, unfortunately, I'm just what they call normal Canadian.
So North American, got it.
Yeah.
Or as the Canadians like to call us, South Canadians.
You know, you refer to us as the North Americans, so you know.
And Burt Reynolds down here in chat giving us the wave. He is our resident. What are you doing? You're tracking this race, aren't you? He's our tracker, making sure we know what's going on. He got Lord of the Synth in chat. Hangry Canuck is here hanging out. Better and Soda Pop also doing some stuff. Helping me out with my geography.
Of course, Mexico is obviously North American, but I get he's playing the actual North American continent thing, you know.
He's... I was going to say you're North Central Americans, pretty sure, right? Isn't that how it works? Well,
I think that's about what it is.
I'm pretty sure that's how the map works. And Rojo up in the air. I totally missed that. I was too busy staring at chat. But he's up in the air around the 35-minute mark. Gonna see that Lamp is available. I don't know what that other spell is, but I saw
Life
Lamp.
2.
Yeah.
Level 7 and with soul, again, maybe one charge of that. At least Life at level 5, though, and Cure 4 being, what was it, level 2? Mm-hmm. So... you know, Life and Cure 2 or Life and Cure 4 will give you some decent charges, some decent refill on anybody who goes down in Topher.
Yeah. So right now, Rojo is gonna do his bottle turn and get the Thor's Hammer. Hey, he's got another sweeper spell. That's something.
It's on par with the best sweeper spell we've had so far, and at least this one's free.
Exactly. Probably not what he wanted to see there. And man, Jaylow getting the business from those Thunder Sahags. At least he was able to get in and out of the Titan's Trove area with that loot and that slab. But unfortunately, we know that's not like progression. He knows he's going to have to either go to any of the other incentive locations, Ice Cave, Volcano, Ordeals, or Waterfall. We know that Volcano is definitely where he needs to go because that's where we found the floater.
Yeah, that's the big ticket. And you know, Rojo having this at this point now, clearing out Cardia, you know, this gives him a big edge at this point in time.
Yeah, he picks up the Pro Cape. That's going to be great for his mages. Pro Cape is a, it says it's a Pro Cape, but it's basically a shield. It is a shield that your mages can equip, and it is 5 absorb, -2 evade penalty, so it's fantastic. It's the shield your mages can carry. I mean, it's fine. It's no buckler, but it tries.
Yeah, yeah, it's something that they can put on their back. I always picture it that the mage, when something attacks them, turns their back anyway, which is why the cape saves them. Like, man, it's coming. Just turn around and let the cape take the hit.
So I do like Rojo going on ahead. He makes basically a beeline to turn the bottle in, and then, of course, he's going to do class change since we got the tail pretty early on. That's going to be good for his party because at once you get to level 15 and every odd level after that, you get a spell charge on your knight. for those level 1 through 3 magic spells that you can pick up that are night learnable.
Level 2 Cure 4 means that is a night learnable Cure 4, which can be a huge saving grace later
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
Plus
he's
got an X-Cal, so he's finally got a real weapon to swing.
Yeah, he's got to feel pretty happy. I might even consider bringing my other knight back to life, which it looks like he might be considering because he moved that silver sword over to him. So interested to see what he decides to do, especially with where the magic lied. Like I said earlier, it might be best to run both fighters alive since magic is such no bueno.
No bueno, yeah.
Yeah. They should be able to pick up that Quad X2 that was promotion locked in Melmond. Got a nice sword. Got a bunch of crap money. It'll warp out with it. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, running Ice and X-Cal for a good chunk of the game will be able to deal out some decent damage for things.
Yeah. And Rojo going to hit up Ordeals because he's in the area. I like the routing decision. It feels good.
Man, Jaylow, we're 39 minutes in, and he just hit level 6 across the board.
Well, it's because he unfortunately has no camping gear. And I think the only camping gear that we saw was in Crescent, and he was over there, and even he didn't have the money to pick up those tents. And he's just now getting his canoe, and he can't really do anything. I mean, he can go to Volcano, but what's he going to do in Volcano at level,
level 6? He's going to be in trouble. Because the only trap tiles we saw at this point, I'm pretty sure, were Hydras.
No,
which, not the best.
Yeah, and Jaylow only checked the chest. He got the Caribes and the Ochos that were on the Earth tile, but he never checked Hall of Giants because he doesn't have camping gear. He didn't have camping gear at the time, so he couldn't check those 2 tiles in Hall of Giants. We know Rojo, the Hydra on the Agama. He saw ghosts on the Grey Worm tile. I don't think we ever saw what was on the fire. And I can't tell you because I totally forgot. I think it was spiders were on the Red Dragon tile. So we don't really have a ton of great grinding options that we know of.
No, with the best experience coming from ghosts, with them hitting so hard, that's just not feasible for Jaylow at this point. Question in chat from Cheesinator. Did they draft this? It would be an unusual mirror comp. Yes, this was a draft.
Yes. Jaylow picked the fighter. Oh my gosh, these Thunder Sahagins. And he watched all 4 of his party members just fall over. We're on the screen. He's trying to think about what he wants to do. He's got to be frustrated because he just lost another huge amount of progression, I think.
He didn't even... Did he save since getting his canoe there? I don't know
yes,
how much.
Yes, he did. Okay, he did.
Okay, phew. Gonna say, if not, that's another big loss on time.
Yeah, and he's still taking these
there's those Thunder Sags one more time.
Oh my gosh, speaking of grind tiles, we can actually make something happen here with Harm 2s, Lit 2s, and the Thor's Hammer. What are you thinking? Maybe?
Possibly, provided those whiz vampires don't start going overly melee on ya.
And it looks like they are. They also have sleep, so he might want to...
and stun touch.
Oh, the double whammy. He's not going to be able to get out of this. He might want to just reset out of this.
Yeah, that's everything we thought about possibly grinding on this tile. Throw it out the window. There he goes. He's out.
Yeah, and Jaylow taking the long way to Crescent. Hopefully he has some money to pick up some tents. At this point, just have money to get tents. Okay, you have money. You got super expensive cabins. Just get like $1 million. Just throw all your money away on tents. Everything you own. I don't know why you can't reuse tents in this game, but,
It's the one use thing, you set it up. It's like, that's too much work to tear it down. Just leave it there.
You just imagine, like, over the course of an FFR randomizer play, there's just like abandoned tents like every 5 steps just strewn all over the... Got a real big tent problem here.
That's it. Park rangers are walking around cleaning them up so you can't reuse them yourself either.
And Burt Reynolds pointing out in chat, this is why less than 70 tenths is always wrong. And I could not agree more, but I want to say that they didn't have camping gear option beforehand. I know that houses were in Canaria for entirely too much money. And I never really got a peek into the item shops.
Provoca didn't have anything. Elfland was the first place we could have got those cheap tents.
Oh, so he had the ability to get them.
Yeah, that's when he was going back up to Corneria. That's why I was saying, like, he's just got to head south. I know it's a little out of the way, but he'd have saved himself so much time in the long run having something to save with.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get a flame sword out of that. You got the fires. Not gonna take fires without any sort of ice magic.
No, not worth it.
No, and we got the everyone's meme weapon, the great axe. What's so great about it?
Oh, of course. I mean, it's just great in stature, but that's about it.
Yeah,
Ugh, another horrible
terrible
spike tile too. I hate
oh man,
tiles.
you're not gonna take multiple Anklios?
No, God, no, there's no way.
Oh man, whew, getting ambushed by these catmen and saber-toothed tigers. Or I'm sorry, saber-tees. Get it right.
This game did love its slight inverse of names and such to just mess with you that little bit.
Yeah, so Jaylow, man, whew, just now getting into Volcano. The only thing that Jaylow can really hope for at this point, well, besides that Silver Cheerio, which is nice, is that ruby, that slab leads to something important. Like, that's the...
But he's got to go all the way down to that red D chest to be able to pull that floater, though.
Yeah, and bad turn order is just bad. He's going to throw out a Cure 4 on Jay, but Jay just bit the dirt. Luckily, he's going to get all the good stuff that's here. You know, Excal, I think there's like a house here, some money. He's going to find these ghosts, and of course they're going to ambush him.
That's what ghosts do.
Yeah, but Rojo got him twice and didn't get ambushed.
Yeah. This is that unfortunate situation where in a randomizer, one person sees everything and the other person sees nothing. And I don't blame Jaylow right now taking a few seconds on his screen, just going, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
Things are going poorly, but I can do this.
Yeah. So Rojo does have his TNT. He's just gonna completely fly over Dwarf's Cave. He doesn't need to go there for a third time, but he does remember that Sarda exists. He's gonna get his guitar from the old man in the cave.
Poor old man was just dealing with him, just dealing by his lonesome, playing his guitar, making himself happy, and we decided we needed it more.
Oh, wow. I actually like this right here. We never got to see what was on the fire tile earlier because Rojo didn't check this spike tile. We've got fire again coming out of these things, but it should be fine. Lit 2 should do the deed as long as nothing scary is behind that fire.
Gets in a couple unfortunate low rolls, but even the ones that were semi-high at the 90 to 100, we're taking them out. Power bonk from that TNT.
You hate to see that, but at least it's good. Like, the power bonk is nice to have. That coupled with the defense sword, you can pretty much get through anything pretty quickly. And Pink Pajamas point out, we've got fire wolves? Not frost, but fire wolves. Notice something here. This is the third enemy we've seen that's thrown out fire first and slow second. Am I smelling a Medusa script here? I'm thinking I'm smelling it.
Yeah, that's gotta be it.
Yeah.
Which, of all the things that could roll Medusa script, you're probably pretty happy that that's one.
Yeah, you gotta like that. I mean, fire's not gonna really do anything, and slow is just a big old waste of time. And it looks like Rojo is going to stack up on all those magic spells for his knight. He's going to get blocked by the townspeople. It's good.
Just trying to save the world, just getting our way.
Yeah. Can I just can I go here? Or no, that's fine. You go on ahead. I'm just no big
Nothing
deal.
Important. Nope, not doing anything big here. No, I'm fine.
Yep. No orbs to be lit. None of that stuff's happening. Just hanging out.
Just saved your princess a few minutes ago too. Whatever, no big deal.
Yeah, well, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. He is going to go ahead and pick up exit. Get all the magic he needs because he's got good money now. He got huge money from his volcano dive earlier. So I mean, 71K. You're going to be able to pick up whatever you need for the most part.
Yeah, he should be set for pretty much the rest of his seed at this point.
Yeah. And then he's going to be able to pick up that life too, which is not great where it is because it's level 7, but it's one of the few spells that if it rolls that high, I will still pick up.
Even one cast of life 2 can absolutely save you in Topher.
Yeah. We do know that life is level 5, so he's more than likely going to hit up Melman if he hasn't already picked up those spells out of Melman and fill up on those as well. Plus the Quad X, which...
Yeah, and get Cure 4 here for his knight.
Yeah, Jaylow leaving. He's got a house. He's got a tent. Oh, he lost his Black Mage. That's why he's getting out of there. He's going to have to bring his Black Mage back to life.
Yeah, he's been having a rough go of this. It seems like it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean... just because both of these runners are 1-1 doesn't mean that these guys are slouches. These guys know what they're doing. Jaylow's been around the community longer than I've been around the community. And I think he's just getting, oh my God, birds with blizzard. That's annoying.
Birds being jerks.
Yeah. I always hated the cockatrices because of their stone touch, but now that they have blizzard, oh my God, which way is Rojo going? What is happening here? He is going left. Who goes left? You go down and you go left. You don't go left and down. No one does this. I can't even handle it. I can't do it. You're gonna have to call the rest of this match.
I'm fairly sure this is the 3rd time I've heard you say no one does this, so clearly people are doing this.
No, it is wrong. You don't do that, and this is why you're getting ambushed by wraiths, because you're going left and down.
Improper RNG manipulation.
Exactly. And Jaylow's gonna take down this pack of scorpions and cobras.
At this point, he needs to kill everything he can. He needs money. He needs levels. He needs everything.
Yeah, but he's got huge money out of Volcano, which has got to feel pretty good considering he spent like the last 45 minutes of the seed being insanely poor, and I have no idea where he's going. Like, where are you going? You were just in Volcano.
The fast Caribs.
I guess so. Caribs getting fast. Jaylow finding the multiple Frost Dragon tile here in Ice Cave. I didn't see what tile that was on. I couldn't tell if that was on the mage tile.
It's the mage. Yeah, I believe it was the mage tile.
Yeah. Grindy's talking about up and left and sky. I don't know. I mean, we were cool when you said down and left and ice too, but I don't know about this up and left and sky. It's just none of it makes any sense. Guys are all monsters.
Confirmation that was the mage tile.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Arguably the best grind tile we've seen so far.
Yeah, besides the wizard vampires and vampires would be fine if they just didn't hurt you. Oh, gold bracelet. Huge find.
I haven't found anywhere to buy them yet either, so, can't complain with that.
Yeah, 24 absorb. Throw it on any mage. I'm actually shocked that he checked any of that. Does he forget he has warp? They definitely have warp.
The only reason I could see checking that right one would be to check the spike tile, but I guess...
I don't know what's happening here. He
didn't warp back up either to check the incentive. I guess he's thinking full clear and then just exit because he wants to check that spike tile where the eye is.
But that, you're not saving yourselves any step. You may as well just do the warp trick, come around, check the 3 chests. Oh my God, he's getting the business from the seafood party pack here. Luckily, getting out of there.
Lobsters. Just stop lobsters.
Yeah, some people think they're delicious. I've always hated lobster, and this game has given me validation on how much lobsters suck.
Yeah, my favorite thing about lobsters is that they taste delicious in butter, and that's literally the end of it.
Yeah, and another nightmarish seafood party platter coming out as Starman Zero. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We got Black Mage 756, Edgeworth. Edgeworth is here hanging out with us as well, just saying gold. Nico Cop X and Mr. Narrator. I guess I could learn to read, but
Nuradar?
Narrator. Sure, that all sounds good.
You know.
Yeah,
nice little
unrunnable pack here for Rojo, but luckily able to mow him down, getting some levels on his white mage. Now, unfortunately, he can't do the warp trick because his black mage is dead. He's going to have to do the full loop and check the spike tile there.
Yeah, but at this point, too, though, getting those, given where life 2 is, getting a few extra levels on this white mage is not a horrible thing.
No, not at all. And we still haven't seen where Fade and Nuke landed. I mean, obviously they've landed level
7 plus.
Yeah. Rojo not getting a whole lot down here. Poison damage coming out of this. I don't want to know what skill's after it. Oh, nope, just poison, stone poison. Okay. What else you got for us? Nah, just heart attacks, I guess.
God, they're another horrible enemy. These Gurpids, RN Kylos, just feel like you'd have to dump so much into them and you get so little in return.
Mr. Narrator's really a big fan of how we say his name. Narrator?
I'm gonna call you Mr. N.
Yeah, that's right. And oh my gosh, Cloud and Chronos in the house. A couple of protagonists from the SNES era hanging out with us as one person. Darren Dries is here. Super excited that we're on Speed Gaming 6, calling the last race of this wonderful Thursday night. Well, not Thursday anymore. It's Friday where I am.
Yeah, just clicked over here.
Yeah, it's
pretty unrunnable wizards because everyone loves wizards.
Yeah, they're my favorite. They were like the beginner's trap in the original game. And they have stun touch too. That's nice. That just feels good. And they all get to attack before anything happens.
Of course.
Yeah, so remember as a kid, if you played the game, 1990, you're like 10 or 11, you're playing through the game, you grind, you get down to the stupid wizard tile, you roll 4 of them, and they just decimate your party.
I always made sure before I ever stepped in there playing this game as a kid that I had lit 2 charges.
Yeah.
To walk in. I remember one of the first times I played it, I was like, I'll just go in with whatever magic I have. Did that once, even at like the age of 5. I was like, nah, you don't do that. That's dumb.
Yeah, no one really knows the struggle of the original Final Fantasy game until you were sitting there with your NES remote buying 99 heals.
Yeah.
That took about your entire life. And Jaylow getting the business from more river monsters, but luckily was able to get the grind off. Looks like he's got some halfway decent levels now on his characters. I don't know if he's like broken 10, but he's at least somewhere. He's heading back to Volcano.
Close there, but he's got to be close.
But of course, he's not going to head towards Volcano because why at this point? He's going to do Ice Cave. Creebs and Gators. Perfect. Everything you want to see.
Another fantastic grind tile that we've seen the whole time.
Yeah, make sure those... Oh, yeah, Ice 2. Mwah! It's just perfect. And the key, of course, it is a required key. You need the key to get through the game. You want to tell us why you need the key to get through the game?
See, when you play this game vanilla, you get the key very, very early on. And you think to yourself, well, this is what I do. I have all I really need it for is go to Canaria, I open it up, I get some TNT, I get to leave the sea. But no. When you play the randomizer, people figure out at least once, usually only once, that there is one door, specifically the door after you defeat the Phantom and you play the loot and you go through, to leave that next room. For some reason beyond anyone's knowledge, really, that door is locked by the Mystic Key. So you need that Mystic Key to be able to continue through the second half of Topher.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking over at Jaylow's screen. Luckily, he did not see that the birds had an actual skills list. They were just throwing lit at him. But they have stun touch, and the mummies they pal around with have cremate. Could it get any better?
Yeah, well, first the birds will freeze you, and then the mummies will burn you up.
Yeah. And man, I was just looking at that level 6 magic. It's so expensive. Like it was like all 15K and more. This is
almost like it's vanilla.
I know. God. I remember. Oh yeah, what is it in vanilla? Like 12K? It's really expensive.
It's something to that effect. It's right around the 12K mark. Someone in chat, I'm sure, is going to post the number very quickly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 12K in vanilla. Getting the ambush from these fire slow frolves. Luckily going to get out of here. He's going to check these chests. We already know. Well, I mean, that wizard staff is going to be pretty good against Carrie.
Well, one boss who's really weak to status effects, so we can confuse her and have her cast Fire 1 on herself.
Yeah. And Burt Reynolds pointing out, grind ogres for 4 silver swords. That's only 16,000 gold. But yes, we all did it.
Yep, 100% did that. 100% did that as well. Oh, there's that stone going off.
Yeah, but at least it's on Rojo, and at this point, I think Rojo needs to calm it down a little bit. All right, sir.
he needs to get a little bit of the nasty that poor Jaylow has seen.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Pound Town is pointing out, there were definitely at least 2 moments during this seed where he paused on the overworld screen, and I was certain I was going to look up and see a dot forfeit, but no, he is trucking along. He is making it through this. He figures if he's seen what he's seen, that Rojo has seen what he's seen.
That's the one saving grace that you have to remind yourself. It may not be true, but when you're in that situation, you just have to say, if I'm getting it this bad, there's a chance my opponent is getting it this bad too. And if that's happening, I may not be as far back as I think I am.
And Jaylow actually doing one thing that's going to save him a little bit of time, and he exits out, and that's a good thing. He doesn't need anything in Ice Cave. He takes the gamble. He knows he has the loose ruby, so he's taking the big gamble, and it actually is going to pay off for him because we know there's nothing else in Ice Cave right now. Gonna get out with his key, and wow, that alone is going to help him out tremendously. Now, if only he can get down into Volcano and get his floater, he can maybe make up some serious time.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, we got a question in chat. Where did Rojo take out that floater that Jaylow hasn't done? It is in our incentivized fire chest in the Gurgu Volcano behind that, what is normally the red dragon chest.
Yeah, it's typically in the vanilla game where you find the flame, something that most people that played vanilla never actually picked up because you didn't really need to. Like, it's kind of an out-of-the-way chest.
That's a chest I don't even know how familiar I was even existed there in its vanilla days.
Yeah.
And I had the original thing where you actually got all the maps and it showed you all the treasure chests and everything like that. And I don't even know how much I paid attention to it as a kid.
Yeah, and I want to go on ahead and thank Speed Gaming for throwing out our Discord. Please join us on the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord. I am Gregory Puff. Again, you have Ilmar's Ubermuller here doing commentary. Burt Reynolds is here doing our tracking. We're all part of the community. We're a group of swell guys, as they say. And
a few swell ladies as well. We can't leave them out.
Oh, that is very true. Couple of swell ladies out there. And just join us. I mean, we'll teach you how to play the game. You can learn everything you need to know about randomizers. Find out when all of our matches are happening in real time, because all of our spring tournament operators or directors are really good about letting you know when the races are happening. And Grindylicious, swell people can confirm.
Yes. Or you can be like me and not really play the game at all and say, hey, I want to do some comms. And this community welcomes you with open arms, because I started about 2 nights ago.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think you did your first race, like you said, 2 nights ago. We got our first Fiend battle. Oh, my gosh.
Did he check? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm looking at the wrong screen. I got confused for a second. Did he check the red dragon chest? He's already cleared this place. It's already done.
Yeah.
Thunder, of course.
And he gets to see those Thunder Sahagins one more time. 8 hits, 686. My gosh. Carrie has some health. Black is down. White's going to throw out some heal threes. Carrie's going to go 6 hits, 82. That's a whole lot of nothing. Another 3 hits, 35. Carrie goes down, gets the old ambush right after the Carrie battle. I think he'll be fighting against the Sagama. What do you think?
I have faith. I have faith. He's going to kill it too, just completely out of spite.
Yeah, I would do the same. If I just finished killing the Fiend of Fire and in this long, arduous battle, and this lizard came up to me, I would be, you gots to go.
Oh, poor Jaylow got like halfway around everywhere, gets out of one Thunder Sahag fight to immediately get hit by 4 Sahags, which drop 3 consecutive Thunders on him, wiping him again.
Yeah, this is rough. And Jaylow completely orphaning at this point what we know is the floater, which is going to be his progression. And he's going to do all his key lock turn-ins, which we already know what the answer is. I feel bad.
Yeah, this is, again, that situation where sometimes one person sees everything and the other person sees none of it.
Yeah, and it looks like we get to see Rojo and Jaylow in the same place. Rock Golems with Trance just right off the bat. And Rojo pulls up Sags. No, get him away.
Get off the top. Oh, and there they go.
God, just get out of there. What is feel bad reason? So Jaylow has basically just pretty much been on the struggle bus since the seed started. Had money issues early on. Couldn't get any save items, so would do long stretch of things and then take wipes, and it's been bad, and I feel horrible. Like. And here it goes again. Jaylow just getting the business from these Sahags. Just unacceptable.
Yeah, that's and especially not having any good sweepers in our first 5 levels. You just don't have anything that you can even run and throw something out to take care of them. You are completely banking on turn order and getting out.
Yeah, and the worst part about this, and he's going to get ambushed again by these Thunder Sahags. Just at this point, like, you gotta save scum across the ocean. You gotta just throw down all 30 tents. Like, just leave tents in the water for days. Those fish will be fine. Yeah,
do not worry about the environment at this point. It is not your concern right now.
Yeah, and Rojo is gonna go back. He's gonna get his Quad X and his Lock 2. No, he's gonna get Fire 2. I mean, may as well. Like, spells are bad enough.
Yeah, and thankfully with this randomizer having the fixes that it has, Lock 2 actually useful.
Yeah, Lock 2 does basically a reverse invis, lowers an enemy's evade by 40%. And since we know max evade is 240, you cast a few of those, and you can get to where you're basically landing hits every single time. We got an Aegis Shield find. We got a Black Shirt find. This is going to be huge if Jay can ever get in the air and do a promotion. Because he also knows where the Dragon Armor is.
Yeah, but that Black Shirt in and of itself right now is going to be invaluable just on having, again, another sweeper that someone can use with Magic being the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, I have never seen a seed where I would have been so happy to see a Thor's Hammer. When these guys picked up the Thor's Hammer, they had to have been, or when, Rojo picked up his Thor's Hammer, because unfortunately it was the bobble turn, and picked that up, he had to have been like, I can at least... Free magic. So Pound Town obviously pointing out the fact that you just made, that Black Shirt's actually going to do Jaylow some good. He's going to be able to have free castings of Ice too. And he can... It's just going to make things a tiny bit easier for him.
Yeah, I think the most valuable thing that it can be is if you start running into these Sahags, and that is run with everyone except who's got it and throw it out, because if you get lucky on turn order, having that person throwing out that Black Shirt to kill them before they have a chance to thunder you would be huge.
Yeah. And Jaylow picking up Masamune. That's what I'm talking about. There you go. That's huge.
Big stick. The big stick.
I saw the katana at first, and I was about to say, looks like he picked up a vendor's sword Masamune. What? So, yeah, pretty exciting stuff there for Jaylee. He's got to be excited that he's finally got something he can wield.
Yeah, it looks like Rojo's going around doing his key lock chests for the rest of it here, so he might pick that up soon as well.
Medusas! Oh my gosh, I would hang out here my whole life.
We have a grind tile.
Yeah.
And between the black shirt and the Thor's hammer, you can just drop both of those.
Oh, never mind. No, but all stopped. Well, no, he's got pro rings. He's fine.
Yeah.
Pro rings are fine. Pro rings do protect against toxic, but we don't want to know what's after toxic.
Well, at least they don't have death touch.
Yeah, that's true. Or blaze. Or ambush a lot. That's
all of the above.
Yeah, so, that's something. Yeah, but it is definitely BB candy, no matter how you look at it. It isn't going to take the bait. He's got a lot more game to go. He's not running a black belt. Running the wrong party, as they say.
See, to me, they both lost on the character select screen through their draft. But what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Go with what's you got to go with what was drafted. It's,
actually,
silliness on both their parts to not pick one, but okay.
Yeah, actually, I do have to point out here real quick, his levels are really good. Like, he's at level 21 right now on his knight. He's going to check that Canaria locked here in just a second. And when he does, he's going to get his Mass Immune. The breaking point on Mass Immune to get 5 hits is level 24. He's only 3 away. So at this point, he just needs to get all of his go mode items, and he can, go.
Yeah, you're gonna pick those up just by picking up the odd fight here or there through not even touching Sky or Sea Shrine yet. So he's gonna easily get up to that big break. And of all the lock chests he doesn't check, he hasn't gone to Canaria.
Yeah, he did not go to Canaria, which is that's mind-blowing. It was right there.
He spent the time to go through the top chests and then... Huh.
Oh, look, he remembered too. He must have heard us.
Yeah.
Is he in our chat? What is happening? Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. He totally went back. Look at that.
That's smart play. I think everybody's done that, where they go away and they just, that voice in the back of your head starts going, you forgot this.
Yeah, and it looks like Jaylow, man, getting the business from these Gurmadusas. I don't know if the Toxic took him down or the lock of armor and the massive amount of hits that they have. And there's his Massa. He has to... Oh my... What a Galaxy Brain play on his end to...
Yeah, that was absolutely huge to get that, because now even if he never brings that other fighter up, whenever he does, probably around Topher, that thing can still, with an X-Cal, at least help somewhat if you wanted, to swing to get maybe another 100 damage here or there too.
Jaylow getting ambushed by these Gurmadusas, and they're going to at least throw out enough Toxics to give him another wipe. Can Jaylow get a break? He is standing on his screen. He's going to keep moving. There's nothing important in there anyway, but man, can he get a break?
Yeah, this seed at this point, to me, one of the biggest differences so far was when Rojo spent that extra 10-15 minutes grinding on not the best encounters directly out of Crescent Lake, but to build up that cash to initially get that crystal. Because those levels have really catapulted him, and he's been able to ride that wave. And we see the complete opposite coming from Jaylow's side, of just never getting one step ahead, always being a step back because of his levels.
Yeah, and it's one of those few times that I would have to agree with you there. I remember saying earlier when he started the grind, I was like, I don't like overworld grinds, blah, blah, blah. I don't think this is a good utilization of his time when he could be diving dungeons and getting money. But, I mean, it is paid out in spades for him. The one thing I don't like that he's doing currently is he's running Fighter White Mage. Now, don't get me wrong, the White Mage has great spells. and all that's whatever, but that black mage has fast and temper. He needs to bring that. I'm assuming he's trying to funnel all his levels into his white mage and fighter for like life and life 2 and all the good white magic spells, but obviously he's got to bring that black mage back to life before he starts taking on.
Fast at level 1 though, he's already going to have like 7 charges of that at this point.
Yeah.
Power bonk, if you really, for temper, the only downside is you're not swinging when you're bonking, but he can boost some things if he needed.
Yeah, I like the rojo play that he did here. Went with the white samurai move, moved his massa over to his white mage so he could do a little bit more damage on these kind of smaller packs here, knowing that you're going to only get like 1 to 3 mud gulls, 1 to 2 nightmares. And then he's got the Thor's hammer and the harm 3 to get rid of the mummies and the whiz mummies and stuff. So
yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Pretty smart play on his part. And he's going to gain huge levels through here on those characters. And like you said, I mean, I guess with the temper and the fast being as low level as they are, he really doesn't need his black mage alive except for those dungeons.
And we've been saying the whole time that the magic in this seed has been calling it garbage may be a compliment to it, especially in damage magic. So, just having a fast and temper machine, you're going to have, 7 charges of temper or of fast, like probably 6 charges of temper. That's going to be more than enough that you're going to need.
All right, so we're in an interesting spot right now. First off, I need Bert to... oh, never mind. Sorry, I don't need Bert to do anything. I can't read the tracker. First off, we've checked all of our incentive locations. We're missing an Oxiel. We know that the only thing that Jaylow really has on Rojo right now is the fact that he found that loose ruby in Earth Cave. And Death Touch Ochos. That's lovely. Or was that Nachos?
I missed it there for a second. I was actually going to ask him, like, what happened to his poor white mage?
Yeah.
Death touched.
Yeah, it looks like Pink Pajamas pointing out Death Touch Ochos. We know that they hit hard. I didn't realize they had Death Touch as well. So that seems like an annoyance more than anything. Hanger Connect thinks it was Nachos. Man, level 25 already on Rojo. That's huge.
That knight's already ready for Topher at this point.
Yeah. So again, the only advantage right now that we know that Jaylow has for certain is that he's got that slab that the ruby that he got from giving the ruby to the ogre or the Titan. I'm sorry, and Titan's Trove. We don't know what the slab turns into because Jaylow's still not in the air, but it could potentially lead to this last key item, which is the Oxiel, because the only other item we haven't seen is the Opal Cheerio. So basically we have a 50-50 that the Opal is loose or that the slab leads to it, and vice versa. The Oxiel's loose and the slab leads to the Oxiel.
We're also missing at this point, and our other one is going to be either a loose crown or herb, which is going to turn into the other, which will turn into the final. Yeah. Whether that be the Opal Cheerio or the Oxiel.
Yeah, and I have no idea what this thing is on the tracker that's between the tail and what appears to be the TNT, but, what are you going to do? I don't know everything here. But we got Jaylow in what appears to be old ordeals. We're going to see what happens here as he takes on some of that sweet number 8 encounter there. Well, tell us about encounter shuffle rarity.
So the game runs every single zone has various encounters that are rated for 8 different groups in the zone, and they all have different encounter percentages coming. Like, and in group 8 encounters are typically 1 in 64 encounters, I believe it is. So that means you're not very likely to encounter those group 8s. However, in this randomizer, what we've done is we've taken all those groups and then we've said, group 8 can become the very common group 1 can become the really uncommon group 8, and anywhere in between. So you can have the potential of those very rare group 8s, such as those dragons or Warmech, for instance, all of a sudden becoming very common encounters.
Yeah, absolutely. I could not have described that a little better. And Rojo does look like he brought up his other fighter because he knows he's kind of in a good position to try to get some levels on him. And of course, got his Black Mage up, and he's good to go. Rojo's in really good shape at this point. He either needs to find the second loose item that hopefully leads him to the Axio, or he needs to go to Earth Cave and pick up that ruby to get that slab, to do the slab turn in to hopefully lead to the Axio.
Yeah, but the only thing that's, I guess, somewhat good about the situation that he's in, about not having either of the Catman with crack is bad. About not having either of the loose items is the one thing we haven't seen yet is a ribbon for anybody either. So we're still, those could be pretty useful, and almost at least one being mandatory, probably on his white mage at this point, to ensure he has someone who can live through anything evil or any of those instant death status, whatever, being burnt down repeatedly by Blaze and Blizzard.
Yeah, so at this point, I'm looking at the level layouts. We know that Nuke and Fade have rolled vanilla level. They are both level 8. Based on what I know Rojo has done. Jaylow has made it through the pillar maze here in Ordeals. That's part of the randomizer as well. In the original game, you would always go to the southernmost pillar, and that would get you through Ordeals, but we have randomized the pillars. So that is not going to always be the case. Going full on zap strats against these fires needs to get some levels, because I could tell from his HP that he's still pretty low level compared to where Rojo is.
I think he's around 12 at this point.
Yeah, and in an hour 20, that's got to feel bad.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely feel behind from that.
Yeah, and Rojo moving his massa up to Tonk, his newly revived fighter that basically spent the first hour and 15 minutes of this seed eating dirt, is now finally back up and is going to actually contribute to the party.
Yeah, and having an X-Cal and Massa on your two fighters, we'd said again, as we've said, Magic not the greatest. Melee is gonna be your biggest asset going into Topher.
These mummies just giving him the business over on the right side. Sam is down, Tom is down, Mary's down, and Jay is down. He takes a wipe in Ordeals. Hopefully he remembers the pillar maze, because he was on that last floor. He was only like a few steps away from getting that incentive check there in Ordeals, which was the TNT, which leads to the bonk. He doesn't even really need to be here. It's like Clerks, man. He's not even supposed to be here.
And that's just, when everything's going against you, everything goes against you, that you're going to spend time beating your head against a wall here a few times to eventually come out with, unfortunately, nothing.
Yeah, because we already know, based on everything we've seen, what was in the waterfall, which was the... I'm trying to look at my tracker notes here. Waterfall? Chime. Robot. There you go. So the chime is a required item, so at least that'll do something. It's not progression, because we already know the floater is in the incentive volcano chest, which he did not go back to after clearing Volcano 2.
Yeah, I'm thinking in his mind, he's thinking, if I'm going to go all the way down to carry, I want to kill carry. And unfortunately, that play is just not the correct one.
I just got to look at Jaylow's levels. He is a level 9.
Oh, man.
That is a rough spot to be in right now. An hour 20 in and still only level 9. He needs to be taking battles with whatever he has. I know he doesn't have the Thor's Hammer. He should have Lit 2 at level 3. He's got that ice. He's got the ice shirt, the black shirt. He needs to get levels, and he needs to get levels quickly.
And there still hasn't been a place that we've seen that is somewhere that he can, spend even just 7 minutes and really boost them up. We have not found a fantastic grind tile. I don't think we've seen any of the big boys for experience coming right off a power cycle or anything like that either.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing he could really do is know if he knows that Toxic is Death Elemental and he knows that the Pro Rings are for sale in Melman, he can pick up a crap ton of Pro Rings. He can go back in and just mow down Gurmedusas with his Lit 2 and Black Shirt until he can, get like to level, I don't know, 20-ish, and then try to, get the rest of the way through the seed.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's the most counterintuitive when you come to speedrunning, because you're thinking, I've always got to be moving. Oh, poor guy. You're always thinking, I've got to be moving, I've got to be going forward. But the key to a lot of problems, the one thing that will almost bail you out of every situation, is we get a defense sword on Rojo's side, is levels. Levels can save you in so many ways.
Yeah, and yes, the defense sword, it did happen there on that left side of Sky 1. We still have not seen the second loose item. We got another Hooray Dwarf, so at least Jaylow's in somewhat decent spirits to hook us up with the Hooray.
I have a feeling that might be the most sarcastic hooray coming from him towards that dwarf. And it's like, yeah, hooray.
Yeah, and that power bonk could not make him feel good. Look at him. He had to stare at Narek a little bit longer and be like, seriously? I gave you this piece of dynamite and you're going to give me this glove? Get out of here with that.
I did all this and died 6,000 times.
He didn't exit out or warp out, by the way. He went right by that Hooray Dwarf and gave us another hooray. I think you're right. I think that was the most sarcastic hooray we've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Can you blame him, though? Can you?
Yeah, and he's going down to Waterfall, which, again, we know is going to lead to... It leads to a required item, but it's not what he needs.
My only thinking is that he's really thinking that he's gotta, if I'm going back to Volcano, I'm clearing, and I've got to have the levels to kill Carrie to do that.
Yeah. I mean, the only other solace I can think of is we don't know what the slab led to, and we know the bottle led to the Thor's hammer. So if the Oxyale is loose and maybe Sky, then maybe this could be a floaterless seed for Jaylow? Maybe? A little silver lining, just to,
possibly
could be a thing.
Yeah, but first he has to get thundered 6,000 more times.
Yeah, exactly. On these Sahags, I mean, I don't know. At some point, you just learn. It's like the that scene in Ghostbusters 2 with the negative reinforcement. You just gotta eventually learn to just start throwing out tents in the water.
Yeah, he has not been, for the amount of trouble that he's gotten into, he has definitely not been taking as many safety strats through this at all.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would be tenting literally every maybe 10 tiles, and then every time I saw Sahags, I would just reset out and just keep going. Slimes with slow too. That's annoying. At least you won't see it on any until we get to the end of the game. Oh, Lit 2 coming out! This is not good! No! Stop that! Calm it down, sirs!
Rojo's back on the first floor of Sky. I think he got himself turned around a little, jumping back and forth from the spider floor of the second floor in this one.
I was wondering the same thing. I looked and I'm like, am I looking at the right floor? Because, like, Spider Room kind of can look like this room if you've been drinking red wine for the last 2 hours, so I'm not really sure what happened there, but that was not oddly specific at all. Let's keep it going. So gonna take on some Gurmedusas. Get away.
He definitely warped himself and thought he had warped from floor 3 back to floor 2, but whatever. Now he remembers he has to clear the left side.
Yeah, you got some free Lit 2. the only
Yet
time
again, the best spell we've got.
Yeah, the only time in the history of the game that people are going to be moving their Zeus gauntlets, Thor's hammers, mage sticks, and black shirts around so that they can actually do any sort of AoE magic.
Yeah, that's... it's desperate times when you're like, yes, I'm in Sky and I've got a Zeus gauntlet at level 30.
Oh my gosh, and Rojo getting more of the business from these Gators with Ice 2. He's going to finally make it to Waterfall at level 10. and hopefully can make short work of this place the way that Rojo did. The problem is he just can't get levels with the magic layout.
He's got to take some time. He's got a mass.
Like he's got to take this battle
damage. He's got to fight
with the black shirt.
Yeah. Thankfully, it's unrunnable, so it kind of forces him. But even like those nightmares and that, they ended up rolling pretty low. I saw a hit on Rojo's side for like 180, and it was killing those nightmares. He's got a massa. He's got to start using it to drop some things to start building levels.
Yeah, and Burt Reynolds pointing out in chat, this would have been a good two-fighter seed, which I actually am starting to agree with at this point. Yeah, I got the bonk out of the TNT turn-in. Magic is trash at this point. You may as well just go full-on tank mode through this game.
You got X-Cal, you got Massa, you got the two best weapons they can swing. You've got Cure 4 available to night learnable slot as well. So
yeah, it looks like he's finally getting to level 11. Rojo checking out Sky 3, not going to do the warp play, going to just walk his way around to the greed chest over here.
I think he got scared after he warped himself around from the last floor.
I would have to assume so. And as you can see, because he has gotten so many levels since class change, he's already got those 4 spell charges on his white mage, on his knight. So his knight's looking pretty good with his cure 4s and heal 3s.
He's also got 3 charges of level 7 on his white mage as well, which he hasn't gone back to pick up life 2 yet. But 3 charges of that is pretty solid.
Yeah, and Carito pointing out in chat, who rolled this thing? This is a Gregory Puff special at this point. I don't know why they made me tournament director and they have me opening up race rooms and calling races and rolling seeds and stuff. I don't mean to do this to people. It's not my goal in life, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which way is he going to go? Oh my God! What is this? I'm sorry. He is going left. I can't even handle this.
Follow it up with down.
No, if he goes down, I am done. You are calling the rest of this match without me. Because I can't even. And Burt Reynolds is a terrorist over here, clearly. Talking about 3 boxes, locked marsh, 3 ribbons. Get out of here. I mean, at this point, it's got to be, because where else are these ribbons going to be? These guys have full cleared this whole game.
We're looking at Earth or Sea having all of the ribbons, or Marsh.
No, he went down. Why? It's just not right. You go right, up. Get your plus RNGs out. We're looking for Warmech at this point because Rojo clearly doesn't know what he's doing anymore, and he needs a Warmech to put him in his place.
Maybe it's RNG manipulation. That's what he was going for.
Clearly. And 2 ribbons and Topher out of Peak Pajamas. What is wrong with all you people? You guys are terrible.
You know what?
All vanilla Massa chest.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, all 3 in Topher have them being on, and not even the validation chests, the 2 in Carry and vanilla Massa.
The katana chest and the big money chest that's like, oh my God, we got a Warmech! What do we got going on here? What's Warmech going to do? He's got to take this battle. He doesn't need the levels, but he's going to take it anyway. A-Rub coming out. I like the play in case like something crazy comes out that his pro rings... Wait, his pro rings are going to... it doesn't matter. Anyways, he's going to do A-Rub anyway. And...
Warmech says, that's nice. You defensed up your top fighter. I'll punch the one who's a lot easier to hit.
Yeah, exactly. So Cure 4 comes up, bringing Tonk back up. Lonk takes only 1 hit for 124. He got 2. Oh my God. Did Warmech even have hit points?
He did about 800 there. So not, below vanilla, but not horrible.
Yeah, I mean, Warmech could roll anywhere between 430 hit points and 2,600 or 2,300 hit points. So definitely rolled on the lower side of whatever his scaling could be. And we got a Tia roll. So Rojo is going to roll or pull up his second 4 hits. 88 is going to do a whole lot of nothing. Tia is going to respond with hold. He's going to be like, yeah, you hold on there. Relax.
I know you're still on the first Fiend fights in that, but I'm surprised he's keeping the Massa on the weaker knight at this point. He's got the 5 hits on with the Massa on the big knight on Lonk.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he doesn't, and he's casting fast on Lonk all the time, and he's buffing him. Yeah, he's rocking the X-Cow on him. On this fight it might be okay, but I really hope once we're getting into Topher, he's swapping that up.
Yeah, he's barely done any damage either, and he's going to throw a Hail Mary Quad X, which I doubt's go. Oh my god, it landed! Like, how many hit points did Tia have? Tiamat could not have had more than, 800 hit points either.
Yeah, he only did about 400 damage worth, so she's around 700 or less.
That is ridiculous, and Jaylow has sailed all the way to Mirage, is going to high-five Jaylow, going to get all the bad news that nothing is really here except for the Zeus Gauntlet. Like,
when that's the thing that you're like, yes, I pulled this out. Ugh.
Yeah, so this is bad news for Jaylow. I don't know if he just forgot that Volcano is incentivized. Or just assumed he'd already gotten it because he's already been to Volcano, but didn't full clear it. He's standing there. He's trying to think about what he wants to do. At least he'll get levels here.
Yeah, that's the one saving grace. If he takes fights, but he's running.
Yeah, and Rojo
gotta take turned it around fighting now.
Yeah. So Rojo, let's go on ahead and talk about this real quick. This was something that Jaylow did way earlier, about an hour ago. He went into Earth Cave. We know now, and by now I mean an hour ago, that there is a loose ruby down here. It's on this first floor. We don't know.
Bottom right, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know what that turns into because Jaylow, we know the ruby turns into the slab, but Jaylow hasn't gotten into the air to see what the slab turns into. Now, we still have a few fetch quests out there. Like you said, the herb is out there, the crown is out there, so it could lead you into a big fetch quest just to get the opal bracelet, or it's going to lead to our last required item, which is the Oxyel. We do not know yet, but Rojo does have the news.
I wonder if even after that, he still may check a few chests, because we're still looking for our first ribbon at this point.
And he's gonna get his other just amazing armor and dragon armor. Dragon armor, the best armor in the game, not only defense wise, with I think it's 40 something absorb. It's ridiculous. But it also has resistances to ice, lightning, and fire. So with that and the Aegis Shield's resistance to poison or stone things, cheap man's ribbon, sort of.
Best ribbon we've found so far.
Yeah. Well, you combine that with the Pro Ring, too, that has Death Elemental, and all you're really missing is your Earth Elementals and your status.
Earth and time.
Anyway, he's gonna get his slab. He's gonna beeline his slab turn in, and man, his levels. He's already level 28.
Oh, his second knight is up to 20 already as well. Jeez, he got that second one up quick.
Yeah, and Pink Pajama's pointing out in chat, you just gotta hope it's not Zap. He's gonna talk to Dr. Yoon. Dr. Yoon is gonna teach him a whole language, mind you. An entire language, a civilization's way of talking to each other in half a second. How does he do it?
Sign me up.
Sign me up, because I've tried to do Rosetta Stone, and I can say Je m'appelle in my name. That's about all I got.
Yeah, I took I think it was mandatory 10 years of French here in Canada, and that's about my extent too.
Yeah, I just feel like I cannot express how bad I feel right now for Jaylow7. He is struggling through the seed. His levels are only 14 at well over an hour and a half mark. He hasn't found the floater yet, which we know is in Volcano, the incentive Volcano, the one incentive location that rotates weekly, and he's in Sky, and we already know there's really nothing up here except for hopefully getting levels off these enemies. And there's our crown. So what do you think? Crown leads to herb, then to Oxyel?
Yeah. the masochist in me wants to say, or the sadist in me wants to say, you know what? All of this is gonna go crown to herb to opal.
Okay, so he checked level 8 here, and it's not nuke or fade, so we know everything's in Gaia. All the spells are in Gaia at level 8, like nuke, fade. I don't think we've seen wall yet either. I mean, like
No, I don't think we have. And isn't that where that's where
Wall.
life 2 is? That's 7 as well. Was in Gaia.
Yep. So he needs to swing by Gaia before doing this crown turn, so he can get his life 2. And if he really wants fade and nuke, then go on ahead and pick those up. I doubt it. I wouldn't pick them up at this point. No real reason to have them, and clearly he doesn't need them either.
Apparently doesn't want life 2 either yet.
Yeah, I mean, life is level 5. His white mage is what, like level 28? So, I mean, she's got plenty of life charges, but still having extra life charges, especially life 2 charges, where you don't have to use Cure 4 behind it.
Anything that saves time is, yeah, there's the herb.
Yep. So we're gonna either get we're either getting an Opal Cheerio and we're looking for a loose Oxyel, or we're gonna get the Oxyel and Rojo's gonna be in go mode. So going ahead, I don't typically ask for Bless RNGs in a situation like this, but we're looking for an Oxyel. Tell us what we got after you talk to that person. Oh! Oh my God, that's brutal! And just look at him. And Rojo.
Oh, he is gonna take it. For a second, I thought he was gonna diss it and just be like, "No."
Oh my God, that is unacceptable. This seed, as if it could get any worse. Jaylow. Ruby find from way earlier in the game is pretty much worthless. I mean, 34 absorb is fine. It's fine. But you don't want an opal bracelet in an hour 39. You want an Oxyel so you can beat this game.
Yeah, you're in a normal circumstance, Rojo's probably feeling like, oh boy, I've hit some turbulence. I really need to get going. Little does he know he's got a very substantial lead, but in most circumstances, he'd be like, oh my God, I've just wasted even more time.
Yeah, so you got to think at this point, what do we have left? We have all of Earth. Obviously, all of Marsh. So that's pretty much it that Rojo hasn't checked yet. So what do we got here? Pro Ring. Okay, we got the double Pro Ring. Doesn't even need him. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, gonna go down here. Because we've done everything else. We've done all the key lock checks. We've done all of Cardia. We've done all of Sky at this point.
All of Volcano.
Yep.
Yeah, we're left with this part of Earth, and if not here, Marsh.
Now, Rojo didn't clear the top half of Armory. He only went into Armory and left. Now, we know that Jaylow did clear all of that room, and there was nothing there. But Rojo doesn't know that. But luckily, he is in one of the few places that he can check. We've only got, 13 more chests he can check in this area?
He's got to that effect.
Yeah, he's got all these chests that are, like, spread out amongst everything.
Again, silver lining, maybe he's got to find a ribbon when he's opening all this, right?
Oh my gosh, I was just thinking about that. These guys have not found a single ribbon. Like, no,
everything, they have full cleared practically every dungeon they have gone to, and we still don't have a ribbon.
Yeah, and my tracker helping me out here, pointing out the obvious that Rojo did go back into Volcano and check those top chests. And Speed Gaming again, the bot helping us out. Check out speedgaming.org events to see when Final Fantasy Randomizer is coming to you on any of the Speed Gaming channels. I know we're on Speed Gaming 6, but I appreciate everyone for checking out the SIS and seeing what we're doing here as far as Final Fantasy Randomizer is concerned. We're in the biggest tournament of this year. We have 73 people involved in this tournament. Obviously, the 2 runners we have here, myself, I'm also 1-1. We have Bert, who's running Tracker with me. Actually, he's my opponent this week. Bert, what are you going to do, bud?
Spicy matchup.
Yeah, I'm thinking so, man. Because Bert, one of our resident or recent graduates of the Duckling program, came in second place right behind Groggy Dog in the Duckling Derby, and he's no slouch. He is. I'm actually. I am not taking this match lightly up against him. I already was defeated by another former Duckling named Sarah this past week, and so I'm not taking anyone lightly when it comes to anything.
That Duckling program has created a lot of not just runners, but monster runners who really learn everything inside and out, which is another reason if you're watching this and you're thinking, boy, this looks like a lot of fun, and it is, and you want to do this, join the Discord and get involved in this. There are so many people. There is a whole program dedicated to helping runners who are just starting out.
What a ribbon in the Earth incentive chest. This is insanity. We finally found our first ribbon. And yes, Corito pointing out in chat, don't forget to follow all the channels. I follow all the channels because I want to know what's happening, because there's all kinds of other randomizers getting ran here on Speed Gaming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Lot of Legend of Zelda Link to the Past randomizer going on. You got Super Metroid, you got regular Zelda, just all kinds of crazy stuff. Make sure you follow all that stuff. There's no reason not to. You just hit the heart icon. Another pro ring, all 3 pro rings.
Hours of entertainment.
So all 3 pro rings hanging out in Earth Cave. We got a ribbon. We got 3 more chests to check here for that loose Oxiale. And if it's not here, you know where it is. You know where it is.
Yeah, and if it is there, you knew it was. If there was anything there, you knew it wasn't getting found till every other chest in the game was open.
Yeah, I mean...
On the plus side, it's not a loose loot, which means you also don't have to full clear C.
Yeah. God, yeah, that is true. And full clearing C feels really bad because there's 2 levels of it. You either go towards Mermaid where all the chests are, but you're not going towards Kraken, or you go towards Kraken where there are less chests, but at least you get to kill Kraken.
Yeah.
And here we go. Oxio? No ribbon again, though! What?
Well, Earth was holding out all the big defensive items at least, so you can feel good about that. But at the same time, Rojo must piece together that I've got to go to the cave no one wants to go to.
Yeah, and we're gonna pull up Lich here in a sec. We've got 2 ribbons here on Earth. I'm gonna go on ahead and let my comms partner Ilmar's Ubermuller call this Lich battle. Hopefully, keep an eye on Jaylow and see what he gets here. And let's do it. Tell us what you think about this Lich battle. Hopefully it goes longer than a minute.
Well, apologies if I'm a second behind because my stream's been cutting in and out. Oh yeah, Fire 3 coming out. X-Cal comes out. Big fight's over. That's all it took. Just swing the X-Cal once and it's all over. Doesn't matter. Lich, as per usual, shows that he's nothing more than a glorified doorstop. Now with this, Rojo knows it's all come down to the favoritist place that every single runner wants to go to. Housing up, making his way in. Jaylow in the meantime picking up some flame armor, things in the sky. Fortunately for him, not the play he needs to be making, but sometimes that's the way it goes, and it's definitely been one of those seeds for him, unfortunately, where it feels like every decision ended up being the wrong decision. And, every single thing that could go wrong has gone wrong for him. Meanwhile, Rojo making his way over to topside marsh. So, question in chat, so was this seed a floaterless seed? Uh, I think it could have been, yeah. Yeah, there was nothing out of slab and there was nothing out of bottle that would have been of consequence.
We already know that the slab led to the Opal Cheerio and that the bottle led to the Thor's Hammer. So it could have been a floaterless seed, but man, it would have taken you a long way to get there. Actually, if either of these runners Galaxy brained this marsh play, then it would have been huge.
Yeah, that would have set them up for a whole lot of not having to the big extra.
Sorry, Pound Town pointing out the obvious, though. It was a floater required seed to get away from those thunder sags.
That's very true. I started laughing when I read that too. I was like, "Oh god!"
All right, so
yeah, if there's one reason you didn't want to have to be on the ground, those for it.
So I'm assuming I got back, and I have to say that Rojo must have taken a wipe on Lich. Is that what happened? Lich rolled like nuclear, had like crack and blizzard and blaze and all that, right?
Pretty much, Lich got to attack 6 times in one turn.
Oh. Okay.
It was absolutely incredible, but instead Rojo decided that here's an X-Cal for 680, go home.
Oof, that's rough. You hate to see that happen to an old man living in a cave. I mean, he's just down there. Oh my God, speaking of Jaylow, he went right. He went right, which was good, as if the seed has gotten any worse for him, and then he decided to go down. Like, come on. What is even happening? Rojo complete. Yeah, bless RNGs, by the way. If you want to see a war mech, get him out there. Bless RNGs. We want to see a war mech. Axio in the Borscht incentive chest. What is this game?
There we go. It's finally. It's your video. He's going to stand there and open it a few more times and make sure his eyes aren't deceiving him.
This is insane. Insane. I can't even handle what is happening in the seed. Jaylow went freaking right and down, and we found an Oxyel in Marsh Cave in the incentive chest. Real man, yeah, vanilla Oxyel. Perfect. Black Mage 756 throwing out the wilds. Is this game even randomized? I don't know, but we've got a Tiamat hanging out on Jaylow's screen. He's going to stare at him for a little bit, deciding to go fast strats. And then, of course, he gets the Jaylow turn order for the fighter goes first before fast can go off. But at least fog comes out, so that's nice. Going to think about what he wants to do. He's going to attack again.
As Tia didn't have a huge amount of health, remember, somewhere around the 700 number, because after about 400 damage, that Quad X landed.
Yeah, we'll see if he doesn't have Quad X because he's still not in the air yet.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but luckily we've done some damage. We've taken out about half of Tiamat's health that we know of, which is nice. We're gonna switch to Brack strats. So I'm surprised he didn't go Temper strats, but it's fine. Brack comes out. Ineffective, of course, because this is a Jaylow seed. 3 hits, 11 damage. Hold lands on his massive wielding Jay. Of course.
This is literally every single bad RNG thing that can happen.
Nice! I love it, though. He used the Cure 4, got Jay out of stun touch. Brack lands, broken into pieces. Jaylow finally, at the 1 hour, 51 minute mark, lights up his first orb, and he needs to go to Marsh Cave. He needs to go to Marsh.
He needs to go to Volcano.
Yeah, he needs to do something. He needs to look at the flags and realize that he has left Volcano on the table for the last hour and a half and go back there and get his floater and get himself in the air.
Yeah, at this point, if that's not what he's doing, then unfortunately, I think this is one of those situations where the runner forgot the specific seed and what it was. Yeah.
And Rojo making pretty... where are you going, Jaylow? He's heading to the... Oh, my God.
Where he's heading is to absolute terror town where he's been too many times before.
Yeah, he's heading to Thunderville. It's the Thunderdome, but not nearly as cool. And wow, just
the scary, and I guess I don't want to say funny because you don't want to make light of it, but it is sort of funny that half of the Sahags are firing out thunder, and then there's other ones who are literally running away because of morale.
Yeah, I mean, he's finally got enough levels to get these guys to run away from him, but there he goes. He takes his wipe again. I mean, this is like at this point, like he should have a bot set up on his Twitch channel to see how many wipes he can take to Thunder Sags. Because I mean,
that poor counter would be very high.
Yeah, because at this point he is like way. Maybe he doesn't know he can save in the overworld because he literally hopped onto his canoe, or not on the overworld, but in the boat because he hopped into his canoe.
He saved on the boat before. I'm not sure why. I think that was one of those situations he was getting ready to run into Volcano and then remembered he's only got 2 party members up.
Okay, because that was like, what? And wow, and blink and you miss it. Rojo lights up his 4th orb. I was like too busy mesmerized by Jaylow's play that we didn't even see what happened on Kraken's end. I don't know if he
looked back and saw a mass. No, I saw a Massa hit for like 486, and I assumed something before that happened because Kraken is calamari.
So Rojo hitting up the seafood place, eating himself some calamari, and now he's going to go on ahead and save the game in Melman and then make his way into Topher a little bit over hour and 53-minute mark. Really, I have to say, with the magic layout and where the loose items landed, not a bad time for...
Not a horrible time for the seed given. A horrible time when you're running with the seed. You feel like you're like, oh man, I must be the other person's got to be real close.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you enter Topher at an hour 50, you're like, especially with that Oxyel just being there the whole time, you're thinking to yourself, what if they galaxy brain this Oxyel? They went to Marsh instantly after finding the canal, which no one in their right mind would do, but somebody might.
We are in Monte Chaos Casino. It is not unlikely that somebody decides to gamble, right?
Yeah. And Jaylow getting out of Crescent again. He must not know what's going on. Like he must not know about the incentive volcano check, and I'm starting to feel like as if I couldn't feel any worse for him. I'm starting to feel pretty bad about the way this is going. And Thunder Sahags again, just immediate ambush. Immediately, he's gonna watch it all play out.
About the only saving grace is the fact that if he does go to Marsh, he's in go mode. He doesn't need the floater.
Yeah, oh no, he's finally heading that way. Pound Town telling me that this seed is my fault. Technically, all I did was type in things and the bot rolled the seed, so it's not personally make this happen. You can go ahead and blame Crim_bot for all of this.
Yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah. And he's not heading towards Volcano. He took a right.
Did he not do ice already?
No, remember he orphaned Chest down there.
Yeah, it's right. He warp tricked to it, and then he exited directly after.
Okay, well, luckily he's realizing. All right, I gotta go into Volcano at this point.
That is going to be a very, very sickening feeling when he pulls that out and goes, "This has been sitting this has been sitting in front of me for this long."
Blargy, rage quit. I'm gonna go on ahead and plead the fifth on your question here. I don't exactly understand what you're saying. Me no habla inglés, so just gonna move on, and we're gonna talk about how Rojo is doing some stuff here in Earth. He's gonna. Not Earth, but in Temple of Fiend's Earth floor. Gonna avoid all this toxic because, of course, he's got pro rings. He's gonna have to get that sweet 3 and 256 in order to go down to toxic.
Knowing poor Jaylow at this time, if he were to find those ribbons, he'd probably get 3 out of 256 too many times.
That'd be rough, but Lich getting some script action from the original Lich. Is this even randomized? As he throws out an Ice 2, got Thor's Hammer, Fire 3 coming out, got an attack. Lich 2 falls down just as hard as his Lich 1 did. And Hypes Nova coming to my aid. Thank you, Hypes Nova 1. Blaming someone for the seed rolled is nothing more than superstition. I could not agree more. And I know we're not being serious, and I would never be serious about that. I mean, this is randomizing. This is fun times we're having here on Speed Gaming 6 with Ilmar's Uber Mueller here as my co-coms, myself, Gregory Puff here, and of course, Burt Reynolds, the esteemed mustachioed Canadian himself, doing our tracking. And we've got a carry 2 pull. Let's see what we got going on here. Taunt coming out, 4 hits and a bunch of damage, and Carrie comes back and just murders Black. That's okay. 7 hits and some damage on Lonk. No big deal. 3 hits, 69. Thor's Hammer doing some chip damage. Lonk coming out again. 5 hits, 346. This carry is kind of chunky. Thor's Hammer coming out for 16 damage. 4 hits, 172. And 4 hits, 232. We finally got a dead carry. Luckily, we should have plenty of life charges there on the White Mage to bring Black back to life. And like I said, I mean, God, you bought Cure 3, but you didn't get Life 2. What is happening?
Well, he ended up buying that Cure 3 because it was the available White Mage slot in Gaia, whereas the Life 2 was White Wizard locked. Mm-hmm. And he never ended up going back. He never ended up going back for it.
Yeah. Gets away from that seafood party platter there. Jaylow rechecking the chest. He's already... Oh my gosh, She Trolls with Blaze. How did we not see this earlier? Oh, Jaylow forgetting where his tiles are. Initiates the ghost, luckily able to get away.
Those ghosts always hit hard.
Checking the link chest, gonna get a bunch of bull, able to get away. Bunch of money. We already know there's nothing here except for that floater in the incentive chest.
It's all about getting down to that red D chest. That's where the money's at.
Yeah. And Rojo is going to go on ahead. Look at those. I cannot express those levels that he has right now. 29 on his White Mage and Fighter. He's going to have Tonk, his weaker of the 2 fighters, in the front slot to take this damage. But first, he's got to deal with these Wissahags and Gersharks.
He still hasn't moved that massive though from Tonk to his stronger Lonk.
Yeah, I think that like obviously that just makes the most sense, and I think he's now realizing it because gonna have the fast come out. We got a defense coming out, and Viz 2, so gonna raise some evade. 3 hits, 2. It's not a lot of damage. Jaylow is gonna finally pick up his floater here if he can get away from these Death Touch Ochos. Kraken wet noodling Tonk for only 3 something, so Tonk is still up.
Anytime you survive a hit from Kraken feels good.
It really does, especially since the scaling can kind of be anywhere. Tonk comes back out, 4 hits, 420, blazing him. Man, that's no good. Kraken pulling the full-on Burt Reynolds strats and going right after his White Mage in the back slot there. So he has no way to bring anybody back to life if they die. He's going to hit the Cure 4, going Quad X on him. Kraken still has more than 300 hit points. Jaylow finally picks up his floater. Or no, not finally. He's about to pick up his floater. God, that was a lot of damage. It was like 800 or 900 damage. Able to make it through the battle, but man, he has lost his White Mage. That is unacceptable behavior.
That's Kraken 2, for whatever reason. I'm sorry, I don't believe it's randomized. There is some sort of secret hidden code that exists in there. You have to ask the devs about it. Kraken 2 loves to touch the White Mage. Doesn't matter. Always happens.
Yeah, and that's a 1 in 8 chance to attack your back row like that, because it's basically you get 1 in 2 chance or half a chance to attack your front. You get 1 in 4 chance or 25% chance to attack whoever's in the second slot, and then the other quarter gets split between the last 2 slots there. So it's pretty unlikely that it happens. We got double fiend battles. Jaylow trying to light up his second orbit just over 2 hour mark, whereas Rojo's taking on the 4th fiend and Topher.
Oof, only 2 for 53 from Massive. We got a super high. Ooh, nuclear.
Yeah, that's rough. Nuclear coming out. He's going full on dual wield strats here with a no. Tonka's going to heal his black mage up. He knows how important his black mage is. He needs his black mage
fast. He needs those fast casts for chaos.
And we got dual fiend deaths happening on our screen as Jaylow takes down Carry, lights up his second orb at just over the 2-hour mark, whereas Rojo takes down Tia 2. He's going to 3-man his way there. We get an Iron Golem. My God, did you ever know the Iron Golem existed when you were a kid?
I think I fought like one of them once, and I was confused. I was like, how come it doesn't get attacked or hurt by things?
Yeah, I definitely... Oh my gosh, and Ochos have Thunder, as if he's seen Thunder enough in this game. We already know Ochos have Death Touch. Like, why did it have to have Thunder? Poison? What is even happening in this game? Get away from this.
If it's on the water or the river, just ignore it at all costs.
And he hasn't saved it. He gets ambushed by Kareebs. Luckily, we know they only have fast if they decide to actually use magic charges. And these rock golems are giving Tonk the business.
Got a whole lot of stun going on, so he might have to slash his way out of this one.
Yeah, and on the bright side, on Jaylow's side, he has 200,000 G. So that's a thing we can look forward to. Is Rojo finally getting down to the bottom of Temple of Fiends Revisited? It is taking us quite a while to get here. It's been a lot of ups and downs, to say the least. And Rojo pulling chaos.
Still didn't move that mass into the big boy.
Yeah, and Ink comes out going full on Kraken strats. Wow. 1 hit, 1 damage from Tonk.
Oh, that's concerning.
That is really concerning.
You gotta hope that there's some crits coming out now.
Yeah, and he's gonna go ahead and throw fast on Tonk. Tonk comes out 1 hit, 2 damage. Well, thank God that fast landed. 4 hits, 240. Okay, there we go. We're finally getting some crits out there. And the thing with Chaos, with the scaling, is his damage can his HP can roll anywhere. I mean, he can roll as high as oh, here comes Crack. Crack takes down the Lonk. That's his big fighter, right?
That's the guy who's got the biggest levels, but not the guy with the mass immune. I found it interesting that he put his tank guy at the top, wielding the mass immune, who's going to take the most fights and the most hits, but didn't give him the defense sword.
Yeah, and Jaylow's finally in the air, just a little bit over 2 hours, trying to figure out what he wants to do. He's just like flying around. He's like so excited he's in the air, which I don't even blame him at this point. He is going to go on ahead and do the slab turn in, get the bad news that all this is going to lead to is the Opal Cheerio. Knowing he's done everything else and he's going to have to hunt down a loose Oxiel after all this time.
Yeah, and we're down to our last QR4 here. This was it, so any other big hits that come out to Tonk and we're in trouble.
Yeah, and he's not doing enough damage. I mean, 4 hits, 304, Ice 3 doing chip damage. Jaylow finally going to go on ahead and check some Cardi Islands. He's going to be disappointed by what he finds here. Going to be able to do his class change, so that's at least something. That 4 hits was pretty decent.
Chaos fasted himself up, so there could be some big things coming.
Ugh! Black goes down. Zap was like a total Hail Mary, because that's not going to land on any plane of existence. Considering that Chaos does have time elemental resistances. Misses. Taunt coming out of 3 hits, 445, 6 hits, 405 from Chaos. We've got Rojo's first wipe. Gonna have to re-enter Topher at 206. Jaylow, while still 2 orbs behind, this is good for him.
It doesn't open the door a lot, but
it doesn't.
There's a crack. There's a crack.
Yeah, we know that Chaos has high evade. We know he rolled somewhere around the 200 mark, like 180 to 2 something. And we know that locks are going to have to come out this time in order for you to land any hits. I pretty sure Rojo picked up some locks. So hopefully he learned a little bit from this battle, and he's going to be able to make things happen here.
To me, the biggest thing was his setup was a little bit backwards. I think you want to get that guy who's in the top slot, who's going to be the guy who's taking your hits. He's the one you're going to want the defense sorted on then. He's the one you're going to want to be soaking that up. And your other guy, your big damage dealer, you got to put that massa on your bigger knight. You got to get the bigger swings coming from him.
Yeah. So unfortunate. Okay, so I'm trying to think of what's happening on Jaylow's screen. Jaylow has done the full clear of Sky. He's done the full clear of Volcano. He has not done the full clear of Ice because he left those 13 chests down there. He has not done Earth yet. He did top Earth, but he didn't do the rest of Earth. And of course, he hasn't done Marsh because he hasn't gotten his Oxiel. We know that he is an Oxiel away from Go mode, but he also has the slab that he needs to do, and he's going to do all of that thing. Get the crown, get the herb, and turn into the Opal Cheerio. So he's going to waste that bit of time doing all that. When does he Galaxy Brain the Marsh play?
Given the fact that he's been fairly methodical going through everything, I don't know if he's gonna. I think it's gonna be the same situation where it's Marsh last.
Yeah,
which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, I hate to see it. And the only solace I can take from his levels being as low as they are is at least he'll get some charges on his knights for that white magic that there's cure 4s.
Yeah, that's about the only big thing at this point. And if he does full clear Earth, he'll get those 2 ribbons as well.
Yeah.
And he also knows that dragon armor is there on the bottom left chests of first floor Earth.
That is true. So he can at least pick all that stuff up. He's moving some stuff around now that he can actually equip things. So obviously his minuing is good, so he clearly knows what he's doing. He's not a bad player. Like I said, I just think the seed is really giving him a lot of trouble. And I would say after about the 3rd Thunder, he just got tilted.
Yeah,
and
this was definitely a case of when things start rolling downhill, you start playing in your own head, you kind of get away from your game a little bit, and it unfortunately snowballed on him. And that can happen. I mean, you've seen it from every runner who plays this game, that all of a sudden one or two bad things happen, and you just get away from what you're doing, and it can snowball on you quick.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. And luckily, I mean, he's still sticking it out. He knows he still has a chance as long as Rojo doesn't done in his screen. So he knows, he's like, well, I'm 210 in. I know I've got to feel behind, but he hasn't finished yet. So maybe there's still a chance. And that's what he's thinking. He's thinking that the other person has seen the stuff that he's seen.
If he's sitting there thinking, if this guy, if Rojo didn't, pull the floater out, that means he's had to been sailing around on this same horrendous sea that I have as well. So, even if he got that floater a little bit faster than me, then you know what? Maybe he's still seeing, 6 billion Thunder Sahags.
Jaylow, man, I didn't even notice how cheap Life 2 was. I mean, Life 2 was not even 10 grand. It was 60. And we're going to see finally, we've got Fade. There it is, finally. And here's Nuke. Nuke, Bane, and Locke, all level 8. Let me look at my tracking notes here, because I want to know where Lock 2 landed. I want to say it was level 5. Checking notes. No, Wall was level 5. Oh, Lock 2 was level 5. Thank you, Bert. As I'm looking at my tracker notes, he just he threw it up there for me. So, and Pink Pajamas point out that Rojo does have Lock 2.
Yeah, that's going to be needed for Chaos.
Yeah. So we know Lock 1 is level 8 in I think the Quad X vanilla spot. Looks like we're going to get Kraken 2 again. We know that Kraken 2 kind of had a wet noodle to the fighter and to the fighters, but not so much against the black mages and white mages. As we learned earlier with that back row white mage attack from Kraken.
Still got that massa on the weaker knight too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the super intricacies of how much more damage you're going to do per level. I just know that the breaking point is 24. And if Tonk is not level 24, then he has no business wielding the Massa. He needs to put it on Lonk.
I think he's 22 at this point.
Yeah, so, and he puts Lonk on the back row too, so you would have, oh, there goes his Black Mage. At least it wasn't his White Mage. 7 hits, 5, 88 coming out, killing Kraken 2. He's able to bring Black back to life. He's going to have to do a life and a Cure 4 charge, but that's fine. At least he's got his White Mage alive.
That's the big one. If the White Mage can survive through Tia 2, then you'll have full party going into Chaos, which will help.
Yeah, and Jaylow doing the slab turn and getting his crown. So he's going to do this whole fetch quest to nothing, and then just be flabbergasted by what he has to do next.
Double Iron Goal fight.
Yeah, not too bad. Doing mega damage against them, too. Tonk getting up to level 23, so you were right. Tonk is level 20, or was 22 at the time.
Yeah, that losing that extra hit on the Massa is... You're giving up a lot of damage, especially when fasted.
Yeah. I mean, because that could have been 4 hits, something. You know, more damage than that, like close to 400 as opposed to the 300 he just did on Tia. Tia comes out, 2 hits, 221. We got a fast coming out. Gonna go ahead and fast up Tonk. Tonk is gonna do 6 hits, 614. Wow. That goes to show you, if you got your White Mage alive, you can just make short work of your Fiend refights.
Fast does work when you've got Massa and Excal. Fast can really help.
Yeah, and Rojo making it back down to the chaos floor about 10 minutes after wiping the first time, so making pretty good time getting back down here.
Let's see if he rearranges the weapons as well.
He does not. It does not look like he rearranged it at all. He's still keeping Tonk with his weaker level 23 knight with the Massa, but keeping the Excal on lock, his level 30 knight. You know, whatever. We're gonna watch how it plays out as Chaos attacks Tonk for 200 damage as we get some more buffs out here in Viz 2 defense coming out. Tonk attacks again, completely whiffs. Because we know this Chaos has super evade, I mean.
On the plus side here, Lonk is going to be completely evade capped now with the 2 defenses and the 2 Invis 2s.
Yeah, but Temper's not going to do anything with the Excal. The Excal has a significantly lower crit rate than the Massa. And we don't have the Vorpal either that I'm aware of. I don't think either of them picked it up.
Yeah, the Vorpal, I know we've seen it. I'm positive we did. I just don't know if Rojo kept it.
That's what I'm saying. I remember seeing it. I just don't remember if he kept it. And more Temper's coming out. And did you see that Lonk in that last round of combat did 4 hits, 4 damage?
Yeah.
With that Excal? That is not good.
And that's the other big thing, is Excal is awesome because it does that thing where if any enemy has a weakness, it automatically attacks and exploits that weakness. Problem being, Chaos has no elemental weakness, status weakness, or weakness of any kind. So that Excal loses a lot.
Yeah. And Thundercloud pointing out in chat, big time A-Rub thing. He has a couple of ribbons already and pro rings for days, so the A-Rub is only really protecting against that Earth Elemental, which is great because we have not seen Crack come out of any of the Fiend refights. Chaos fasting up. We got a Power Bomb coming out, and Viz 2 getting more of that evasion stack coming up on his party, doing a lot better, and Jaylow getting the bad news on the Opal Cheerio. Like, it's good armor, but that's not what he wants to see. He needs an Oxiel. He needs...
No, he's got everything, and he's going, geez, where is it?
Finally getting some lock 2 strats to lower that evade on Chaos so he can land more hits. You got 5 hits, 5 damage. So we got not only a highly evasive Chaos, we have a high absorb Chaos. So we can land the hits. We just need to do the damage now. We got to get those tempers and locks out there. 6 hits, 132. Fire 2 coming out again. More lock 2 is happening.
Crits. One of the rare times where Vorpal may actually be the correct play.
4 hits, 123. Pound Town helping me out here because I clearly don't know what I'm talking about. Clearly, Crack came out early. We got Bane coming out, taking out Tonk and Black. So you got your 2 ribbon characters still standing. Thor's Hammer doing minimal damage. 6 hits, 483. 5 hits,
better.
4. Zap misses because of the ribbon. Chip damage coming out again. 22. Fire 2 doing nothing. Lock again. 7 hits, 8. 46. Rojo finishing in first place with an official SRL time of 2:18:20, and immediately Jaylow, which I do not blame him for doing this, goes on ahead and throws in the towel, hits us with the big FF, and I'm going to see if I can get either of these players in here to talk about their race before we move on.
GG's to Rojo, and yes, there is. If I'm Jaylow, he's probably wanted to do that for the past hour and 40 minutes, honestly.
Oh, easily did not want to deal with any of that. I mean, there were at least 2 times during the race where I was certain he was going to forfeit, because that was not fun for him. All those Thunders to Haggans, all the lack of magic, all of everything that he had to deal with. I can't stress enough how bad I felt for him.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate. And I know Rojo saw Thunder Sahags, but he didn't see a 10th of the Thunder Sahags that Jaylow saw.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to see if I can get Rojo in here. Let's see here. Because Rojo, I'm not sure if he got the invite or not, so I'm going to go on ahead and send it to him myself. And I would be surprised if Jaylow wants to talk about it, but if he wants to talk about it, then awesome.
Jaylow just posted in chat the exact thing that we just said. I have a policy to not give up in 1v1 races until the other plane finishes. Otherwise, I would have forfeited an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
And you could, like you said, there were a couple of times where he stared at his screen after taking a wipe for a good 15-20 seconds, where he was going, this is just not happening.
Yeah, and Jaylow clearly not going to join us here in voice, which I do not blame you. I would not want to talk about it either. I would want to sleep on it. I would, decide what I want to do with my life. And I don't blame you here either. But I'm glad you came into chat to at least tell us how you really felt. Loose Oxiel, do you want to tell him?
Yeah, Jaylow, I'm so sorry to be the one to break this to you, but it was in the vanilla crown chest in Marsh.
Yeah. So the crown chest, the vanilla incentive Marsh chest is where the loose Oxiel was. And don't feel bad. Rojo didn't find it until it was one of the last checks he did as well. He just had a little bit better luck getting through that seed. And I mean,
Jaylow, if there's one thing I can say, Matt, you saw literally 10 times the amount of Thunder Sahags that Rojo did. And you can just tell you got snowballed on that. It was really unfortunate.
Yeah. And trying to see Rojo here. I'm going to pull him up. Rojo, how you doing?
Not too bad. How about you?
I'm doing pretty awesome. Yeah, that seed, huh? That was a Greggly Puff special for sure.
Man, I can't believe I had to go to Marsh for that stupid Oxyale.
Yeah, we couldn't believe it either. We could not believe that the Oxyale was in the crown chest of all places that it could possibly be.
Yeah, I felt so behind at that point. I mean, I was already feeling behind because I was a little bit of nerves, feeling a little frazzled at the beginning of the race, which you probably saw. But yeah, just like the fact that I took like 15 minutes, checking every single chest in air and came up with basically nothing to show for it, did not feel great.
Yeah, we do want to tell you ahead of time, you were pretty much the thing that really put you ahead as far as the seed is concerned was doing that little crescent grind. Getting those extra levels, especially as bad as the black magic was, and pretty much all the magic was in the game, really kind of helped you out because you weren't getting levels otherwise.
Yeah, I thought that basically I need the money because and I might have done that grind sooner if I hadn't spent like 6,000 on Zap or whatever it was in Elfland, but I figured I need the money, I need levels. If I can find some stuff to kill, then this is a known good spot to get both of those things.
Yeah, that was huge. The other one being that you made a play towards Volcano and getting that red D chest being the floater, which was huge because that got you off of the seed. And if you ever have a chance to go back and watch this seed, you will watch poor Jaylow get Thunder Sahagged 6,000 times. It was, you're just getting off of the seed was gigantic comparative between the two of you.
Yeah, those Thunder Sahags were no joke.
Yeah, that felt pretty good. Oh no, anything that shows up in the pack of like that has massive AA I want to see. But yeah, I was nervous about that getting that chest. I was running out of healing. Only squeaked it by.
Yeah, it ended up working out really well for you, and then of course all the turn-ins and stuff like that. Then so Jaylow found the ruby really early on, and of course we realized the ruby turned into the slab, then the slab turned into the whatever, then the herb, and then you finally got the bad news that it was the Opal Cheerio. And I saw you talk to the prince a couple times about that Opal Cheerio. How'd that make you feel?
Really hoped it was going to be the Oxyale. I can't believe they sent me on that for something I really probably didn't need at that point in the game.
Yeah. And Jaylow pointing out in chat, yeah, if you had the levels to push for the RD chest, obviously made a huge difference in the race because that's exactly where the floater was. And yeah, I mean, being able to grind and get the crystal money to get the canoe and then make the push for it, I think obviously separated the pack there. I think we're going to go on ahead and do it, since at least on my end of the world it's 1:30 in the morning. I know Uber Mueller's feeling kind of the same way. Do you have any other questions for Rojo before we close this out?
Final one would be 2-1. That puts you at least one step closer to at least getting the opportunity to qualify for the next one. So that's got to be making you feeling pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. If I can get a couple more wins and make it to the play-in race, I call that a victory in and of itself.
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. Well, any final thoughts about the seed from you, Rojo? Anything you wanna add before we get out?
Never go to Marsh.
Still never go to Marsh. Still, even never, when progression was there the whole time, just hanging out, being all like, "Hey, I'm an Oxyale. You guys just leaving me in this chest."
I can't advise anybody to make a Marsh dive, I'm afraid.
All right. Well, on behalf of our two runners here, Jaylow7 and Rojo, myself, Gregory Puff, my comms partner, what was it? Ilmars Ubermuller, and of course our tracker, Burt Reynolds. Speed Gaming 6 for having us here. Thank you guys so much for watching this race. I know I had a blast. Join the Discord, follow the runners, myself, Ilmars Ubermuller, and of course Burt Reynolds on Twitch. Again, join the Discord if I couldn't say that enough. Have fun with us, and hopefully we'll see you guys around. We've got plenty of races tomorrow, starting as early as 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time on Speed Gaming family of networks. So we will see you then. Have a wonderful night. Thank you again.